Esse de har peixe, mas não tenhas medo. Garrafão dá-me sede, esse grande bird. Olha para a pistola, e nunca foi piscola. Andar passeando lá na rua, vendendo Coca-Cola. Mas aí vou embora, mas não há agora. Meu coração corre sangue, isso é uma vida louca. Minha mãe não chora, isso é tudo para ti. Quando eu estava na cadeia, estavas lá para mim. Hey! Eu não vou chorar. Esta vida não era para mim. Everybody, eu não vou chorar. Esta vida não era para mim. Hey!
I don't know the lyrics, man.
Finally, Brian Couto has come to the Construction Life podcast.
I feel like I got to throw my harness on, man.
Right?
I think we're going to break every safety violation ever.
You could use that soundbite, and yes, this is going to be the craziest podcast you've ever recorded.
How do we know each other? We know each other through Steve Mello.
Through Steve Mello.
One Steve Mello. There's plenty of Steve Mellos.
There is the Just for Laughs, the Christmas special guy, the artista, la artista, number one, aquel carajo.
That was his idea. Yeah. I listen to people who have great ideas, and I just say, yeah, sure.
No, he's a really fun guy. We just met this year, or last year. We just met at the end of last year. But yeah, good guy. You know when you meet somebody and you just vibe?
The vibe.
Yeah, that's how I live my life.
2025 is all about the vibe.
I think so too.
I think the last 3-4 years, it's been vibeless.
Oh, jeez.
We won't get there. We might get there. We might shoot the shit about that.
You know, it comes in ripples. You know what I mean? Like it comes. So I see that wave changing. You know what I mean? I see it.
I totally see it. Clear as day.
Yeah,
I see it.
I've been in construction since 1999. So sometimes
25. Oh, going on 26.
Yeah,
huh?
Yeah, a lot of years. So I've seen some guys that come in that are born after that. So when I tell them to do something a certain way, I'm like, listen. You were still in your dad's balls. I was already doing this job. Just listen. He shut up, no?
Didn't you listen at that age?
No.
you listened, but you didn't let them know that you were listening.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing. Back then, if you didn't listen, you'd see the flying shovel, the flying pick.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I know.
It was a different life back then. It was different. I remember some crazy stuff, but it made me a man. Like, it's like being in the army. Que la tropa, bro. Like, the construction is one step from the army, you know, back then. 100%.
I agree.
You're putting your life at risk every day. You're under crazy. Usually you're the first, like I'm in concrete. So usually
extremes. You're in the extremes.
In the extremes. You're in the mud. You're there without sidewalks. You're there in puddles of water. You know what I mean? It's just a mess, you know, and back in my day, we didn't have porta potties right there and stuff. Sometimes you would have to go dig a hole somewhere. You know what I mean?
It's the only time that a construction worker uses the word erect and it has nothing to do with their pants. They're so focused on building this building because we love seeing it grow.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We grow together. It's the team. No one person can build this structure.
No, it's crazy because COVID, well, I hate talking about COVID, but it affected all of us.
Yeah.
In different ways. So
it divided people. That's all it really did, right?
It did. Yeah. During that time, I started working on high rises. You know where Square One is?
Yeah.
So here's a little story. So the Rogers family, they own property there near Square One, and there was a developer looking to buy that land. So they found out who owned it. They said, oh, the Rogers family own it. So they called up the Rogers family and said, hey, we want to buy that land. And they're like, what land? They didn't even know they own the land. That's how rich these people are. And they're like, oh, you know what? We want to be part of the build. So they made 3 or 4 towers, and they were like 88 floors, 82 floors.
It was a joint venture between the Rogers family?
Between the two of them. The Rogers family and... what's the name of that big company, huge company?
What are you talking about, like your PCL or Ellis Don's boys or something?
Ellis Don. Yes, good job. Oh, yeah, Ellis Don. So Ellis Don was there, and they're building these buildings, and that was my first time ever working high rises, and we worked more during the pandemic than a lot of people because the building already started. It was considered. We were considered essential workers.
That whole bullshit.
Yeah. And here's the other thing that COVID did for us. It's the only good thing it did. before COVID came, we didn't have toilets. We didn't have running water. We didn't have toilet paper in the things. It was a mess, disgusting. You know how construction sites are. But because of COVID,
all these showed up.
All the big. We had water stations to clean your stuff, everything. So that's the one good thing.
Here's the question: is that shit still there, or did they revert back to the way it was before?
I don't know. I don't think they can revert. I think once they got finally to here, now there's rules. You know what I mean? So now you have to have a clean John, and you have to have running water to wash your hands.
Or Jane.
Yeah, you have to have these things, because that's how. If you don't have that, that's how diseases are spread.
Yeah.
Because you're not able to wash it off of you.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And plus, we're working in horrible, horrible conditions.
During every season.
Oh, it's the worst.
We're getting way ahead of ourselves, Brian.
It's okay.
Nobody knows a lot of people know who you are, and it's great to meet you. Thank you so much for making the time and coming into the studio. Brian Couto's in the studio. You can find him under all over social media under @Couto_Brian.
Yeah.
And then you're also your YouTube channel under your own name, Brian Couto.
Yeah.
And then we also want to talk about, well, obviously, and I was joking about this, but it's not a joke. I think a lot of contractors, tradespeople, hardworking, blue collar individuals are fucking funny.
Oh yeah, man. Some of the funniest people I've met.
They could be offensive, but it's still fucking funny.
It's pretty funny.
I don't give a shit. I grew up on offensive humor, and I still enjoy offensive humor.
Yeah.
You can make as many Portuguese jokes as you like. You're never going to fucking ruffle my feathers.
No, of course not. It's a joke. I think if you can't joke about yourself, then don't joke about nobody else. Just shut up. If you can't take a joke, then don't tell a joke.
And there's way too much humor going on right now with every fucking culture.
Because we look around and there's stuff everywhere.
There's way too much.
You know, in politics, it's nuts. In the arts, like, what the heck?
Well, I don't know what the fuck happened.
I don't know.
You go back to COVID.
Oh.
I come from the film business before construction, and I told a lot of people during.
What'd you do? Porno?
No, I didn't do. I was asked to do porno a lot of times. I was asked, and I always had this vision of this small town girl getting off the bus kind of thing.
She's just a small town girl.
And I'm the one that corrupted that person, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I want nothing to do with that. I'm like, no, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Hey,
no,
like,
I want nothing to do with that.
It hits too close to home. I can't.
No, but I said to them, I'm so glad I'm not in production now because of the amount of stupidity that was going on during those years of COVID in production.
You know, it's crazy because when I was in high school, I wanted to be the next Jim Carrey. I was doing everything. I was in music. I was in drama. I was in the theater. I was in 2 plays. You know what I mean? I was in Midsummer Night's Dream.
You just loved it.
I just loved it. I did it.
What was like the beginning, the very beginning? Like, what was it that... Like, I know Jim Carrey talks a lot about how when he was younger, he was in a theater and he would purposely walk down the seat row and throw his popcorn up in the fucking air just to make everybody laugh.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, can you imagine that visual? The movie's going on and you see this guy slipping and...
I would laugh like crazy too.
I would laugh crazy.
And my comedy is like on the spot comedy. It's like me being silly or, you know, not being the smartest, sharpest tool in the shed, but thinking that I am. You know what I mean? It's just
putting
a funny thing.
A smile on people's face.
But my very first time that I was like, oh my God, I have the power of making people laugh, because it is a gift.
Oh, 100%.
It's a talent. It's a skill. You can't learn funny. Do you know what I mean?
No.
There's a lot of skills that you can get, but being funny naturally is something that I think it's in you or it's not. You know what I mean?
I agree.
So when I was a little kid, how long is this show? When I was a little
Forever.
kid,
Non-stop. It's digital. It never ends.
When I was a little kid, I would say at the age of 6 or 7, that time my family was Jehovah's Witness. Okay. So I was born Catholic, and then one day my dad answered the door
and actually spoke.
He answered the door, let them in, and actually the young man who came in married my aunt. So that's how it was a perfect storm. My family's still Jehovah's Witness and everything, right?
Yeah.
But at a young age, one of the elders seen something in me. He's like, this kid's got something. So he brings me on stage. Like, he wanted to do a talk. They call it a talk. Yeah, like a unschus, right?
Okay.
So that's a talk. So what they do.
You're the focus?
Well, he had a couch, and I was sitting on the couch with a microphone, and he was sitting beside me. And before this, he goes, listen, all you need to do is your line is, have you ever seen a blind rabbit? But in Portuguese. Okay, have you ever seen? Because the gist was, you need to read the Bible to get that spiritual food to stay with your eyes open, right?
Have you ever seen a blind rabbit?
So because they eat carrots, the beta carotene is good for your eyes, blah, 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 right? So he's like, that's your line, but in Portuguese. So it comes up to my part, and I'm like, yeah, já visto, how do you say rabbit again? I was like, how do you say rabbit again? And then the crowd laughed. They all started laughing, the whole crowd. And I was like, as soon as that happened, I was like, oh, wait a second. If I make a mistake, it's funny. It's funny when we make mistakes.
That's comedy.
It's comedy. And I was like, wow. And so right at 7 years old, something clicked. And then from there on, I always wanted to make people laugh. And I like to bring joy. I like to come into the room and make it sunny.
When did it become serious? At what age did it become serious for you?
Like to actually do stand-up.
Yeah, to actually go, you know what?
Okay.
This is my career now. This is what I'm going to focus on.
Well, only, okay, so before I say this, because a lot of comedians in Canada, in Canada, even the States, it takes you over 10 years before you start getting good.
1,000 kicks. I know.
Yeah, right?
I know.
I've been doing it so whenever the pandemic started, maybe a year into the pandemic, I went down to see Stoner Sundays at Planet Paradise in Toronto, and Mike Rita was hosting this show, and I went down. I seen him on the internet and stuff, and I was talking whatever, and then I went to go see him, and then when I seen everybody there, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this, especially because he was doing a show, and some of the guys that were on his show are actually like getting pretty big right now. And it's crazy to see, like Sterling. The day I was there, Sterling Jokes was there, and he went to Canadian Idol or Canada's Got Talent.
Okay,
right, with Howie Mandel. What is that?
Yeah, Got Talent.
Yeah, Got Talent.
Yeah,
so
Got
he was
Talent.
he's made it to that show. Tish. He's doing a whole bunch of stuff all around. A whole bunch of different comedians that nowadays are probably doing it for a living. Do you know what I mean? So I got to see these guys in the beginnings, and when I seen them, I was like, you know what? I think I can do this. And then I was like, hey, Mike, this is a little place here. Do you mind if maybe next time I come down, maybe I could introduce you or something just to get my feet wet? You know what I mean? Get back into it. And he's like, sure, no problem. Like, let's do this. And and the first time I met him, I actually made fun of his shoes and made him laugh.
What was wrong with the shoes?
He had Vans. He had Vans shoes.
Fuck, that's 80s.
Right? But he had Vans, but they had like, I don't know, the drawings of a city or something on it, right? And I said, yeah, well, frick, with a guy who wears shoes like that, you have to have a good sense of humor or something like that. and he looked at his shoes, and then he looked at me and he started laughing. And then we just kind of hit it off. He had a podcast as well, like the Snacks of Life podcast. You could check that out too.
Yeah.
And him and a guy's Snacks. But Mike invited me onto the show, show number 7, which is cool because that's Ronaldo's number. You know what I mean? So I was all excited, and that's, you know. So from there, it just started to take shape. You know
You're never
I mean?
scared to get on stage, complete strangers, wondering how they react?
See,
or you just eliminate that fear?
Okay, so here's the thing. One day it just snapped for me. In the beginning, I was scared. In the beginning, I couldn't get off.
And it was a rabbit.
It was a freaking rabbit that started. And I was kind of scared because I wanted everybody to like me. Just like the first times when I started doing comedy, it was like your first day at high school and you're trying to get everybody to like you.
Yeah.
If you do that, no one's going to like you.
Exactly.
If you try to kiss everybody's ass, they're going to walk all over you.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So once I got that out of my head, that don't worry, just go up there and be you because these people came to see you, instantly gone. All that fear was gone. I used to write jokes, and I'm telling these jokes on stage, and they're not really landing because they're fucking jokes. Like no one really cares about why the chicken crossed the road. But what I have is something different. There's attitude. That's crazy. You know what I mean? That's what people want to see. That's what the people came for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I realized that my personality was funnier than me writing jokes. And as soon as I got past that part, easy peasy.
You started
squeezy.
writing your personality then.
Yeah, I had to be more like, so now I'll have few jokes that I want to say, right? And I'll say this joke first and that one second and this one third because it has to make sense.
Yes.
Right? Because
it's a story.
It's a story.
Yeah.
The way that comedy works, because everybody, I can do that, no problem. Yeah, okay, but you gotta lead.
Yeah.
You gotta lead the audience. You can't tell a joke if they don't know what it's about.
Yeah.
Right? So you have to educate your audience before, you gotta educate your audience before you can make them laugh. Right?
Hey, homeowners and businesses, are you looking for top-notch tile and stone services you can trust and count on? Consider the expert tradesperson behind the Tile Guy GTA, Omid himself. He takes pride in delivering quality service and professional installation on time and on budget. From mosaics to large slabs to custom niches and miters, the Tile Guy GTA has you covered. With years of experience and a commitment to excellence, Omid and the team at the Tile Guy GTA are your go-to professionals for all your tile and stone needs. From full waterproofing solutions of every possible product to the finish grouting details, even a hint of design recommendations when the client needs to hear the truth. Call the Tile Guy GTA today, 647-716-5062, or email them at thetileguy.gta@gmail.com. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life.
Where were we going with this?
No, the story and how it's like the fear and not having it.
Yes.
And I agree with you. It's all about, you got to get the audience to buy into, you know what, comedians back in the 70s and 80s were really good at that.
Yeah.
Because they had the time to start planting the story, plant the seed, and then eventually you get to the joke, like Kaufman and all those other guys.
Yeah.
You would like take a long time to get to the punchline, but when you got it, you were invested in it.
Yes.
And that's what you're doing. You're setting up an investment into who Brian Couto is.
Yeah.
That's what you're doing, and that's what's funny.
Yeah, and so now I have my jokes set up, but then during my show, based on what's happening in the crowd and what's happening out in the world, then I can say my little jokes, my little digs, my little things, right? But most important for me, I don't care about other comics, what they do. But for me, I never blame the audience. So, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So by blaming the audience, so I tell a joke, it doesn't land. Oh, it's too much for you guys. Oh, you don't.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I never, ever do that. One time I got to open for Mike Rita at the Portuguese club in Cambridge. Okay. There was over 420 people. Of course, Cambridge.
Cambridge. Why is there? I keep asking, why are there so many there?
Why so many Portuguese?
What happened in Cambridge at that time?
You know what? We have an actual statue. Yes, in downtown Cambridge, there's an actual statue of, the cross, right? It looks like a chess piece, right? But it's about my height. And back in I hope I don't get the wrong date, like 1956 or something, that was put there for all the Portuguese that migrated there and helped build the city. And so we got ourselves a monument, right? Just give me some money. Don't worry about it. No, they put a monument there. And I think it was one of those things where, hey, where does so-and-so live? Oh, they live in Cambridge.
And they got closer and closer.
They go to Cambridge because you would move to what? Toronto? Or you would go...
You'd start with college.
You would start,
Lansdowne or college.
That's where I was born.
Right?
That's where I was born.
You start.
That's where I was started. So, and I think that's what it was. That one time, 60% of Cambridge population was either Portuguese or Newfie.
What's it now?
What? It's the same place it is everywhere, Pinky. Freaking a little browner than this, a little darker than this. They have freaking 5 mosques. We still have 1 Portuguese church. You know what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. I like everybody. Everyone needs a chance.
I hate everybody equally. That's how I look at it, man.
Right? But
wait, sorry, I threw you off with the Cambridge thing.
Yeah, the Cambridge thing. Why was everybody there? Because I think everyone just kind of
but you opened up for Mike.
Oh, the
Portuguese club,
because I told a joke and it didn't really land. So the way I did it is like, holy crap, that joke, I did that joke in the mirror earlier and I thought it was hilarious, right?
Yeah.
Like, it's just make it fun. That got a bigger laugh.
That got a laugh.
Then, you know what I mean? I had my friend Jovi, I brought him and he's like, rah, rah, start like heckling like the whole time. I was like, oh my God, Jovi, settle down, Jovi. Yes, I brought Jovi, everybody. Yes, I brought him. And for all the forming companies out here tonight, he's looking for a job. If you guys see him after the show, you know what I mean? So I started trying to settle him down because I'm trying to get everyone's trying to get involved. He doesn't realize what he's doing because a lot of people have never been to comedy shows before, and then when the comedian says, hey, has anyone ever blah blah blah, and they're like, oh yeah, my sister, blah blah, hey, shh, settle down. No one paid to see you.
It's not your show.
Yeah, it's not your show. Settle down. You know what I mean? I would do stuff with Mike sometimes because it was my first times going to shows, and he'd say something and I'd make a big noise and I'm loud, so I had to like tone that back down. But he got me back. I didn't open. I was like third or fourth already at Growers World in Toronto, which is it's like a cannabis store.
Okay,
but they do comedy shows in there. So
it's a good marriage.
It's not bad, and I don't know if we can say this, but they smoke inside there. I love it. It's the best.
As long as there's a filtration system, you got a good HVAC
lots of
guy,
filtration. The hair in my nose. So I was on stage here, and right beside me, they had like a little booth where Mike was, and everybody there rolling joints and stuff. And I'm telling my joke, and he's fucking heckling me from the side. You fucker. But he didn't realize that. But he was just talking to them. He's like, hey, look, this guy, he already has fans. He's already famous. You know what I mean? Like doing stuff like that. And then I took a big whiff of that cloud of smoke in the air, and there's all kinds of so I haven't smoked in like weeks because I got sick, right? You know, I'm coming over this pneumonia over here.
Yeah.
But I took in a deep breath of all that smoke, and I started forgetting my stuff, and it was stuff that I do all the time. And I was like, okay, I'm going to get out of here if I shit the bed. You guys take it easy, blah, blah, blah. And I got off the stage, and his friend Lucas, who films for him and stuff, he's like, hey, how did you do? How do you think you did? I said, I don't know. It was okay. He's like, really? You didn't think you did good? Like, everyone was laughing and stuff because I'm my worst critic.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And I know where certain jokes can go and certain things can go. And so when I don't do that to my best, to what I feel is my best, I'm a little not hard on myself. It's, you know, hey man, no one died. You know what I mean? But I'm trying to be better every time. You know what I mean? So
do you separate yourself from the audience? Like not to the point where it's like you ignore them. I'm just saying the separation, like where you feed off of their vibe, but if something's not hitting right, you don't let it phase you.
Yeah. So in the beginning,
I'm sure that it wasn't like
everything
kill you, right?
Just affected me like crazy.
I don't get it. This fucking is supposed to work.
Yeah,
man.
It's supposed to work. But now, like I hosted for Rusty Nail in Kitchener before the year ended, and it was a bunch of university kids, right? And
in today's climate,
you know what I mean?
Fuck.
So I was doing my joke.
Talk about right or left, huh?
Right. I have a right. Really not right. They were really. So sorry.
It's fine. It's fine.
I'm working with a lung and a half over here. You know what I mean? And I still got the pipes. Let's go.
So the right left university.
Yeah. So lots of university people there and stuff. And I tell this one joke that starts off with, you know, I've been working with people who have special needs for like 25 years now. And then the crowd starts to clap. And I'm like, yeah, you guys can clap. That's a noble thing to do. And I'm like, my area of expertise is concrete, right? And everybody loves that. That's a hilarious joke, right?
Yeah.
And it was crickets.
Serious?
Crickets.
They were offended by that?
They were almost like, wait a minute, is he making fun of special needs people?
Yes.
Like, dude, you're here.
They're called tradespeople.
Yeah, they're called tradesmen. You know, I could say that. Yeah. I could say retarded. I am one. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I am. So,
obviously, they've never been on a job site.
Obviously, they've never worked on a job site. Yeah. It's because I could see a couple of the comedians who were older just fucking, just howling, right? And so I know my joke works. It's worked 400 times already. You know what I mean? I know it works. And I just kept going. I was hosting, So I couldn't just sit there and like cry. I was like, all right, okay, your next comedian. Are you guys ready for your next comedian? You know what I mean?
What was the follow-up joke to that one? Do you remember?
There was another joke that didn't land too. I forget.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Is it jokes because of the university left?
I think it was. It's listen, if you're at a comedy club.
Those people need to get their lattes out of their fucking asses, man.
If you come to a comedy club, go there with a good attitude. Leave your shit at home.
Yes.
Leave your shit at home because we're all here to have fun. We're all here to laugh.
Yes.
Right? I'm not making fun of you so that you can go home and cry.
Yes.
I'm making fun of you so we can all laugh.
Yes.
Like, take it, you know what I mean?
Smile, giggle.
And it wasn't like I was attacking the people in the audience. You know what I mean?
Unless there by chance happened to be a legitimate one in the audience. Then, but I'm pretty sure
I was closest on the spectrum than anybody else.
If Stephen Hawkins was there, I'm sure he would have giggled. You know what I mean?
Right?
It just offend everybody now. Who gives a shit? Come on, it's 2025. Wake up.
So for me, I'm not an offensive. I'm a pretty clean comic. Like I don't like to use swear words too much because my teacher, Mr. Tim Seabrook. Shout out Mr. Tim Seabrook.
How far back we going here?
We're
Elementary
going back
or high
in
school?
96. This is high school.
High school.
This is when I was he kind of seen something in me too.
Homeroom teacher or was
he was my drama teacher.
Drama teacher.
And you know when you were supposed to do something in life and you didn't do it so that the rest of your life just went.
That's pretty much Monday.
Right? That's a Monday, right? So they had this play. It was called The Canadian. I'll never forget this in my life. It was called The Canadian Kid. Okay. And the mother in the play was Portuguese. So he wanted me to play the son, right? And it was basically being a new Canadian and dealing with stuff at school and all this, right? It was really good. It actually went to the finals in Canada. It came number 2 in all the it went on competitions. If I was there and I played that part, we would have went to America. We would have been at the...
Who replaced you?
Some nerd, Steve. This little nerd called Steve. Yeah, that's funny. His name was Steve too. Little nerd. Like he even had
Canadian
like a weird...
guy?
Yeah, Canadian guy. I'm like, what do you got? I think he was Jewish or something. You know what I mean? So... And he had like a weird... He was very smart, very intelligent guy. I'm not taking anything from him. And, and good luck. I don't know where he is.
He just didn't hit it.
But he wasn't me. You know what I mean? And I think me and her as my mother and me as the son, I think we would have had a better dynamic that would have resonated with the judges, would have resonated with the audience. Because it's not just about reading lines.
No.
It's about...
how you deliver.
Yes. It's about taking everybody in that crowd on a journey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
what did the teacher say something afterwards?
So the teacher was like, hey, listen, I got this role. I want you to do it. You just got to ask your parents because we're going to have to travel. Like if we win, we're going to travel.
Yeah.
I said, no problem. Take it to my parents.
They said no?
Old school pork chop dad. Listen, I've done a lot of forgiving in my day. And that's why I think now I don't listen to anybody but myself. Because at the end of the day, it's my life. And if I don't do it, then I'm the one who's going to have nightmares about it for 30 years now? Forever, right?
Was your dad in the trades?
Yeah, he actually got me into the trades.
What was he?
He was a machine operator.
Okay.
So when I was 15, he worked for Green Park Homes. You guys know?
Yeah, of course.
Green Park. So he worked for Green Park, but he actually worked for a company who worked for Green Park,
Sub.
right? A sub, right?
Yeah.
But the special thing about working with my dad is that he had the supervisor of Green Park. My dad didn't read English, but the supervisor...
Speak it?
He could speak it.
Broken?
With that accent.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because he actually grew up in Bermuda. That's probably how he learned most. Yeah. Oh, crazy history.
How does a pork chop get to Bermuda?
So there was a lot of Portuguese that migrated from there's a lot of Portuguese in Bermuda as well. Oh. We're all over the world, baby. Portuguese is worldwide.
500 years ago, we ruled.
We ruled everything.
They ruled. I had nothing to do with it.
I had nothing to do with that stuff, yeah. So
you can ancestry, shit to death. I had nothing to do with it.
At 15, I went to work, and I got to kind of see side by side how the plans work. Because Mr. Vito was teaching, his name was Vito, I'm sure he's passed away now, God rest his soul. Mr. Vito would show my dad the plans and say, look, see here, it says this and this and this. And I'm there like, right? 15, 16.
You're learning.
I'm learning, right? And I'm like, okay, cool. So then I started to learn the stakes like where the grading is, how the grading works, how many rises from the house. You start from the house, you get your stake, and in the middle, fill it in, right? Very simple, such a simple process. We didn't have lasers, beep, 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 beep. No. You know what we had? We had a string line. Yeah. Pull that string line tight, put it in the swill between the houses, right, where the water goes. And if the string is touching, then you know, or not touching, then you know where to fill or cut.
Try teaching that to today's trades.
Oh my God.
Just try to
Just try.
It. Just try.
Just try. And
that's a comedy routine in itself. A home built on trust, crafted with care. Your home is more than just a structure. It's where memories are made, where your family grows, and where you find comfort. That's why your renovation or building project deserves nothing less than the utmost care and quality. Because it's not just about creating a space, it's about creating a place where life happens. Tim, the heart and soul behind Ravine View Construction, understands that your home is personal, and whether you want to be involved in every detail or prefer to leave it in the hands of a trusted expert, he and his team are here to make your vision a reality. At Ravine View Construction, every project is handled with the passion it deserves, from the initial site assessment to the final touches that turn a house into a home. Tim's team doesn't just build, they protect what matters most. With a reputation built on trust, excellence, and a commitment to using only the best materials, Ravine View Construction ensures that your home isn't just beautiful, it's built to last. Tim and his team work alongside the finest tradespeople, guiding you through every step so you always feel confident and cared for. Let them help you create a space where you can enjoy peace of mind and cherish moments with those you love for years to come. Connect with Ravine View Construction today at 416-671-0170 or visit them at www.rvchomes.ca. For direct inquiries, email Tim at info@rvchomes.ca. Let them build not just a house, but a home filled with lasting memories. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life.
Do you know, I got this one thing, you know, AI, everyone's scared of AI taking over. You know where AI will never take over?
Where?
Because all the stuff I see on video, it's all fake. If you ever see these guys do construction, these robots do construction, that's fake, first of all. Especially if they're moving fast, it's fake. Because listen, you need to train AI to do it, right?
To do it.
Who's going to train the AI to do concrete? Some old Portuguese guy? Huh? Hey, poo, hurry up, sakana. You know what I'm saying? Bimbo, mad dents. The robot with a dent or the pick, pop, pop, pop. The only thing that robot's gonna learn is swear words in Portuguese. That's it.
The dents are gonna be in the shape of a 2x4.
Oh my God! By the end of the day, that
I
robot,
never thought about the dents, right? Man. They totally would get dents. A bunch of.
Hey, what happened to the robot? El KI fall down. I don't know. Stupid robot.
Battery.
Hurry up! You know?
That's so true, man.
Right? It's so true. So I don't think AI will ever take over construction just for that reason.
I would love to see that on a real job site one day.
Right?
Get the old school.
Get the old guy to teach him. That robot won't last the day. Trust me.
He'll have a computer keyboard the same size as those old calculator buttons. The size, just to input the knowledge.
Be like this. He'll use the keyboard to hit the AI robot. Are you kidding me? Oh my God. Oh my God.
The keys would be his teeth.
Oh yeah. Ishpu. How many times did I get yelled at learning?
But that's how he taught you.
That's how they taught. Yeah. I used to get more shit from my dad than he would give to the workers.
Well, that's because you're blood.
Yeah. And then this way he's like, hey, you're my responsibility.
Yeah, that's why.
If they see me giving you shit, the rest of them are going to fall in line.
Yeah.
And it was kind of true.
Yeah.
But it also made me, because I almost like had a personal coach. So it made me that much better. Like even now, like I'm already 46. Shout to Convelien, you know what I mean? Mush, because of all the tricks I learned, how to dig, how to shove, different little ways to hold a shovel and stuff. Techniques. Buddy, there's 20-year-olds that come beside me and they're like, what the heck? I'm like, let's go. Even with half a lung right now, I'll go outfinish like half the guys half my age. You know what I mean? It's something that we got. If you start off doing the hard stuff, everything else is easy. You know, my first concrete job, getting paid in the union, was for King Khan Construction. They do concrete and drain,
I know,
right?
Yeah.
They do concrete. They're still around.
Yeah.
They do concrete and drain. So I learned with those guys. Personally, that is the worst job ever. Worse than high rise, low rise, up rise, down rise.
It's hard no matter how you turn.
Buddy, and you never stop working because you're working for builders. They're undercutting everything. I remember King Khan undercutting a price of my boss, who was his brother-in-law. He undercut his price by $50 a house. My boss comes to me and goes, hey.
$50?
$50 a house just to get the contract. My boss goes to me, hey, I was already losing $50 a house on the house. Now this guy's going to come and undercut another 50. And then they came to me, hey, can you drop a 100? He's like, I'm already losing $50 a house. Now you want me to lose $150 a house? He's like, let him take it. Let him take the job. But that's what's up. He works on volume, right? They work on volume. And there's tricks. There's tricks to get away with stuff. Like we did work for Mattamy Homes, and we did a bunch of cement basements. Buddy, we didn't even finish that shit. It was like, just go, just close it up. Because I guess they were going to be finished basements or something. So they weren't worried about. You
didn't trowel? You didn't power trowel?
No machine. Just go in there, chi. And then that's it. But that's what they wanted because Mattamy is.
That's what they're paying.
That's what they're paying. That's what they're paying for.
You spend more time in there, you're not making any money.
Exactly. So for me, I'm used to working for, like when I had my own, when I was a foreman and stuff, I had my own stuff. I was used to working for like more custom homes or whatever, and they would want everything nice.
Perfect.
So you got to do everything nice. So I'm already drilled in my head to do things nice. You can't tell me to do it crooked.
You got to shift gears.
Yeah, please give me another job. Like don't tell me to do it wrong because inside it feels like it's crazy. I don't want to. You know,
are you still on job sites? You're not on job sites.
Yeah. I still work. So during the summer. Well, I'm not really on job sites now. Now I work for Cox Construction in Guelph. Shout out to Cox, best company I've ever worked for. By the way.
Oh yeah, you were telling me that you were assisting them with their logo.
Yeah, assisting them with their logo. You
have a marketing background.
I have a marketing background. I started working for them last year. Great crew, great company to work for. We just had our Christmas party. People were really nice. The company's 80 years old. The owner, I don't know if it's the son of the original owner, but the owner must be close to 90 by now.
Oh, wow.
Right? So I don't know if he started the company when he was 15 or if it was his dad's and passed down kind of thing. But at the Christmas party, when I seen him, I shook his hand. I said, hey, thank you for putting food on all of our tables. We really appreciate, our jobs here. It's such a nice place to work. No stress, no nothing. Now that I want to leave construction and go to do comedy full time, I finally found a nice construction place to work. You know what I mean? I've worked for like.
But leave on a high.
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Like but my life has always been, nothing is ever perfect. And if something at home is good, then my work life sucks. If my work life is good, then my comedy life sucks. Or you know what I mean? Like
You've never had a triangle where it all is
nothing.
No,
never. No.
Unicorns, double rainbow.
No, that's not my fate. My fate is my lottery ticket is to work every week. That's the only guaranteed lottery ticket I got. You know what I mean? But I think it keeps me humble, and I think it keeps me hungry, because that's the thing too. A lot of comedians and whatever, once they get comfortable, they slow down. They, I don't need to work so hard. Even construction guys same thing. They get confident, and then they don't have to, they don't have to work so much because they have the experience. They have younger guys working for them. I understand, right? But for me to stay on top of my game, I like to be a little bit hungry. I like to be a little bit scared.
You want to be on your toes.
Yeah, I want to be a little bit on my toes, so I'm always ready. Yeah. I'm always ready for that, right? And that's it works for me. If you tell me, hey, Brian, you're doing a great job, you just fucked me.
Exactly.
You just
don't say that shit to me.
Don't say that shit to me. Tell me, hey.
If there's nothing good to say about it, then you know what? We have nothing to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's as simple as that.
I'm my hardest. Like, no one ever tells me nowadays. Maybe when I was younger, they used to tell me worse. But nowadays, no one tells me worse than I already know. I'm my hardest critic.
Did your folks find you funny?
My parents would find me funny because I would like imitate Jim Carrey and everything, and so they'd be like, "Hey, come over here, show them the thing," and I'd be like, "Alrighty then," you know what I mean?
Have some water, yeah.
A pneumonia. I'm here fighting a pneumonia key. I went to the hospital. We're gonna sidetrack a little bit. I went to the hospital yesterday. I was there till 6:30
because of our healthcare system moves really fast.
But they put me through a machine, all this stuff. They can't see anything wrong. Hey, sir, if you want to stay for another test or whatever, you can. But,
if you want to stay for another test?
Listen, the pain is right here. I don't know why you're checking here and here. The pain is right
here. Leave
my
balls alone.
Yeah, leave that alone. I already know. They're tá vazias. Listen, over here, there's pain over here. What's going on kind of thing? Like, is it bronchitis? And they're like, no, it's not bronchitis, blah, blah, blah. But then I thought, well, is it pneumonia? And she's like, hold on a second. She went to get another machine and put
the pneumonia machine
to check to see if there was liquid around my heart. When she went like this, she goes, oh, wait a second. She goes, you know what? I think you got a pneumonia, or you had pneumonia, and this is the after effects. So right now I'm pumping on a lung and a half. You know what I mean? But just like work, I'm not going to stay home. Are you crazy? Oh, let's go. Wake up, take some shots, take a puffer. They got to, you know what I mean? Let's go. If you stay at home, you're going to die.
And you don't get paid.
And you don't get paid.
You die broke.
You die broke. It's even worse. And I've been waiting to come on this podcast, and I was like, oh, you know when you're doing good and the devil's trying to, you know what I mean? That's what it felt like, you know, that's what it felt like. So, but yeah.
No, I appreciate you like stomaching it and just getting in here.
Yeah, just getting in here. And
that's it.
I really wanted to do this.
Thanks,
so when I was younger, my parents, I would make them laugh all the time.
Like, you're the monkey. Come over here and do this.
Come over here. Show them this.
Yeah.
You know, and so, yeah, I would do that kind of stuff. And I liked it because I made everybody laugh in the room.
Nothing like old Portuguese people laughing.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's the best.
Yeah, especially because usually they're always chasing you with a broom. So
exactly. That's what I mean. So you don't see them smile and like belly roll laugh all that often. So when you see them laugh.
Hold on, I'm just going to take a drink of my construction life tea over here.
You can find them online. Yes. Yeah. It's nice. So you made them laugh, and you made the tias, and everybody laughed.
Yeah, and just like in school, I would do that so the bullies wouldn't mess with me. You know what I mean? And if my parents are laughing, at least I'm not getting beats. You know what I'm saying? So
it's true.
It's true. If you lived in an old school, there's two different kinds of Portuguese people.
Count how many wooden spoons are in a Portuguese house.
Yeah, they migrated right to the belt. They said no more spoons. This kid's heart. This kid, the spoon is nothing.
We ain't. That's not the tying belt. It's a big buckle belt.
Oh, it's the belt. When he go like this, I'm like, hey, I start crying already. I'm like, hey.
When they wrap it around the head just to get some leverage.
Yeah, I did. I think he had mercy on me after that. And then plus I started going to school. Yeah. So you can't leave marks, because if you leave marks, you're in trouble.
Now the marks are on the robots.
Well, I know, right? I was in Mississauga. So I was born in Toronto.
Okay.
Like Shaw Street. I lived on Shaw Street, and I lived on
Shaw. How far north?
Shaw and
Dundas or College?
Yeah, like Shaw. Yeah, between there.
Okay.
Right. So that area.
So you're right there at Bellwoods Park then.
Yeah, pretty close. I went to Grace High. I went to Grace School.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know if it's called Grace anymore. I think it's called Trudeau or something now. Who knows? And
Grace is too white.
Yeah, too right. And but I was born on Crawford Street.
Okay.
So
Street right over.
Yeah. So that's where my grandfather bought a house and all that stuff. So that's where I was from. But then we moved to Mississauga, and then to Cambridge, and then
had to get to the Portuguese.
Right. It's always like that. Now I forget where I was gonna go with that shit. And hey, I didn't even smoke weed today. What's going on?
I don't know. Where were you going to go with that?
I think it's all the antibiotics. They gave me so many.
Oh, no. Beating Portuguese people laughing, old people, stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Oh, so in school, I remember like friends of mine getting picked on or whatever. So I would make sure there's lots of people around. And then I would go after the bully and I'd chirp him, but I'd make it funny and everybody would start laughing. So one time with the bully, no, the bully would be like, So the one time the bully went to go hit me, and I'm like, and I look, and the guy's on the ground, and I'm like, oh, what the heck? And I see my other buddy, he's like, hey, next time you want to mess with him, you mess with me first, right? Because why? Everybody was on my team.
Yeah.
Because I made everybody laugh.
Yeah.
Right. And then once I started getting that, I'm like, you know what? You do get more with honey than with, you know what I mean? So
shit.
Yeah, 100%, 100%.
Tell that to our government.
What's going on over here? What's going on with this guy?
I got no answers, man.
Even he retired. He already stepped down, but he's not going to step down for like a month.
He didn't step down, nothing at all. He bent over. That's all he did.
Because everyone's freaking out, just to shut everybody up. He's like, okay, guys, I'm gonna, but now we're gonna pay for an election for the leader. Hey, no,
he bent over. That's exactly what he's done.
Yeah, you know what? You know why I want to get famous? so I could run for prime minister when I'm in my 50s and 60s.
You know what? That's a better idea than what's on the table right now.
Yeah. Well,
I don't give a shit.
Right? Because one, I would use my brain.
Exactly.
Right? First thing I would change, taxes.
Yeah.
Income tax.
Yeah.
Why?
Zero.
What? I used to make $21 an hour when I started in the union, and I'd make a weekly check of $1,000. Now I make double that, but
And
my check is not double. How does this math work? My gross, which means disgusting in another word, the gross is huge, but my take home is like
Pennies.
2/3
I
or
know.
whatever, or almost half. And then we get taxed on that money again.
I know.
Oh, where are you going with this? So that's the first thing I would change is the income tax. Second thing I would change is our healthcare. You want to know how?
We don't have a healthcare.
Our healthcare. So they want to do privatized. Okay, but then we got to pay the premiums? No. The government, if you're a Canadian citizen, pays your monthly premium. You get to choose wherever you want to go. And then that's what keeps everybody honest, because the government has to pay the premium and the people pick the doctor. So
idea.
only the best are there, right?
Yeah.
Take this. If you guys want to run for office, this is what you need to run for office.
Consider Expert Plumbing and Drains. When it comes to plumbing, you need someone who's not just skilled, but truly cares about the job they do. Someone like Aaron Bolin and his team at Expert Plumbing and Drains. Aaron has been in the trade for years, and he's built his reputation on one thing: commitment. Commitment to his craft, his crew, and most importantly to you, the client. At Expert Plumbing and Drains, it's not just fixing pipes, it's about delivering the best possible service every single time on every single project. So whether you're dealing with a leaky faucet, a stubborn drain, or planning a full plumbing overhaul, Aaron and his team are ready to tackle it all with skill, integrity, and a passion for excellence. Need help now? Call Expert Plumbing and Drains at 905-531-4111. That's 905-531-4111. Or visit them at www.expertplumbinganddrains.com and on social media at Expert Plumbing and Drains Canada. Experience the difference of working with a team that's dedicated to getting the job done right. Because at Expert Plumbing and Drains, your satisfaction is their top priority. You can also email Aaron directly at aaron@expertplumbinganddrains.com. Expert Plumbing and Drains, where expertise meets care. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life.
You know what I mean? Stuff like this, smart stuff like this.
I've said we need blue collar party. We need all kinds of new parties. We probably need a comedic party.
Yeah,
they would do a lot more. Like the jokes that they're handing out these days are not funny at all.
No,
crickets.
Crickets. Yeah, like
I don't know. Funny enough is they want us to eat crickets too.
Yeah, it's crazy. Get away from the. Don't eat milk. Don't eat cows because cows fart too much. And the climate change.
Bullshit.
It's not a real thing.
It's bullshit.
Oh! I didn't say the Earth was flat. I said climate change, which if I had a submarine, I'd find that out too. But climate change is not a real thing because they've gone to Antarctica and they've drilled holes 2 kilometers, and from the ice and their little computers, they know what temperature. So the world has gone up and down. We had an ice age. So all this is it's starting to turn. It's starting to change. Yeah, of course.
How come nobody ever talks about every decade there was a climate change bullshit argument?
Right?
Nobody ever talks about that.
Yeah.
I know history. I know as far back as the 60s and 70s. Yeah. I've seen it in the 80s. Yeah. The hole in the ozone bullshit.
Yeah, where's the ozone hole? What?
I've never thrown sunscreen on my fucking body ever, not once. Yeah. Never will.
Yeah, and I won't either because I think
I'm
it's full
Portuguese
of chemicals.
to begin with.
Yeah,
I want the sun because I actually dark.
You know when they say take vitamin D pills? Okay, take the pill, but it activates when you get the sun.
Yes.
Right. It's if you're a healthy person and stay away from food chains.
Stay away from politics and government.
Stay away from bad food.
You will live a long life.
You'll live a long life. If you stay away from garbage. The stuff you put in your mouth and the shit you say out of your mouth.
Why don't they just make it illegal for all this crap to be in there?
You want to know why?
Starting with the politicians.
You want to know why?
Why? Exactly. It's money driven.
Yeah. So anything money driven, I don't trust it. When we had this epidemic...
It was money driven.
It was 100%. 100%. How do you blame a country that you're buying all your shit from? But then you want to blame it on them and how do you shut down countries? Gyms. Yeah, you shut down gyms. Playgrounds.
How do you tell people not to exercise?
What, I can't go golfing? Golfing is a single person sport. What are you talking about? Do you know what I mean? Like,
can I jerk off?
Yeah, only if you wear a mask.
Mask up to jerk off,
buddy. I remember, and it's I don't want to name drop all day, but Mike Rita had this joke during the pandemic. And he's like, in the beginning, we're all worried about masks. And then after, we're like, oh, yeah, I need a mask. Oh, okay. And he pulls out a $5 bill. He goes, yeah, blue side out, right? He puts the $5 bill over his mouth. Do you know what I'm saying? It's crazy. Dude,
who's on the money these days? I wouldn't want to put any money on my face with the people that they've been putting on the money lately. There's Gene Wilder there or something like that. I can't remember.
Really?
I don't know.
I don't have money, so I don't.
They don't want us to have money.
I don't follow that.
They want us to be living in 15 minutes. Are you ready for your 15-minute cities where you're going to be doing comedy clubs in 15-minute cities?
You know what? I hope for every bad guy out there, there's a good guy.
I would think there is.
Right?
Man.
If there's a secret organization of bad guys, isn't there a secret organization of good guys?
There must be.
Or it doesn't pay enough. Like, I don't understand.
There must be.
Right? And I don't. And
can you the good guys show their faces, please?
Yeah, but if you show your faces, maybe you get killed, right? So, like Kennedy when he got assassinated is because he's trying to cut out the world banks. Do you know what I mean? Like, it really goes down. Like, honest to God, a lot of people might watch this show, and maybe your audience is more educated, but a lot of people in the world, they
like being that way. And they won't go to optometrists either.
And no, they don't get their eyes shot. And the union pays for glasses, man. But
why is the union paying for Viagra and Ozempic now? Why are they doing that? And also weed. It's part of your dues now.
Here's the thing.
Why is that?
Here's the thing. When it comes to the union giving to the workers, give everything you can. Because you guys have huge buildings. You guys have all this stuff. You guys all drive nice trucks, right? Those trucks, those vehicles, usually it's from the union, or at least they get paid for their gas or whatever, which I understand.
Okay.
Right? I understand. So when it comes, when stuff is coming to us, the worker, give us whatever. You got weed? Okay, I'll take it. Even if I don't smoke, I don't give a fuck. Give me that shit.
But are you not indirectly paying it?
No, here's the thing. This is good. The weed company is called Starseed. The union owns Starseed. That's why it's legal. Why do you think we get $2,000 a year? Because that's ours anyways. That's our company. Oh, thank you very much.
But what about the blue pill?
I think the blue pill is for all the old pork chops to say, hey, man, this construction doesn't work no more. You breaking my dick, huh? You busted my balls all day. I need the blue pill on the weekend, okay? For the Maria. Listen, if you need a blue pill, you don't need a blue pill. You know what you need? You need a hotter chick. That's it. If you have a hotter chick, you don't need the blue pill, my friend.
That's true.
All right? You don't need it. You're going to see these old guys with a younger chick. They don't need the blue pill. They only use the blue pill for her. Are you kidding me? If I had a hot chick and I was rich or something, I'm going to break my heart for you? No. First of all, you go cavalier. Skash, jump on top. First of all, because my back is broken from construction. That's the first thing, right?
The blue pill's a light switch.
Yeah, it's a little light
switch. You
switch.
how to turn it off.
Hey, I did Viagra one time, huh? Okay, so I was like in my 20s.
In your 20s?
In my 20s. And my buddy's like, hey, you want to try one of these? I was like, sure, no problem. Fucking don't I take it? I go have sex with my baby moms, actually. Go have sex with her. I'm like, nice. And then when I was done, it kicked in.
So you're walking around with a serving tray?
Oh my God. Oh my God. It was crazy. I was like, what? Go away. Leave me alone. And it kind of makes you kind of itchy. It kind of like.
Did you have to go back and go, listen, this won't go away?
I was like, hey,
how'd you get the tool belt on the next day?
No, it didn't last that long. But that stuff's bad for your heart.
No shit.
It's bad for you.
No shit.
And that's the thing. Like everything I've learned, everything that's not natural
is bad for you.
Yeah, it helps one thing, breaks another.
Yeah.
Also, like I learned, okay, so I was back in the time we used to go. You guys, did you ever go to the government?
Oh fuck!
Yeah,
is that a condo now? It's a condo now.
They ripped everything down and they put new condos. Yeah. So the government, I was introduced to that place in my early 20s. And remember, I left home at 19 with $5 in my back pocket because my parents were super strict. Okay. And so I said, you know what? I'm going to do it. So nothing anyone could do to me is worse than what I've already gone through. Do you know what I mean? So, and I learned that when they would take ecstasy, there's something in your body that your body produces naturally, serotonin.
Okay.
So, but after you take ecstasy, because it raises your serotonin, your body goes, oh, wait a second, we don't need to produce serotonin. We're at levels of 300 right now. Do you know what I mean? So what happens is your body starts producing less and less. And that's why you would have all these miserable kids, because they do ecstasy on the weekend and they're miserable during the week because their body stops producing it. So early age, I realized everything I do to try to enhance myself, like I never did steroids, I never did any of that stuff. I had lots of friends who used to do that. I'm like, I'm not going to do any of that stuff, because when you stop, it's going to get worse.
Yep.
You know, there was like that movie, I think it's called Thinner or something, and the guy, the more he'd eat, the skinnier he would get, until he was like a bone rack, he died, right? So stuff like that, when you like, it would get into my head. So I kind of started clearing, like staying away from that stuff. I didn't want to enhance my body and then suffer the consequences later. Plus liver, kidneys, all this stuff. Buddy, I was sick for a couple weeks now. I would have done anything to get rid of that pain. So I don't want to do stuff that, okay, I'm going to look good for 6 months or 5 years or 10.
But then what?
But then when I'm old, all broken, hey, I shouldn't have done all that. Look, I got to piss in a bag now. You know what I mean?
I remember Irish tradespeople, when I started working with them in my early years of construction, they're the ones that pointed it out to me. I never really paid attention to TV, but you see, TV's designed right now just for big pharma. It's all just pharmaceutical commercials,
they're
right?
the ones who pay for the commercials.
And then they would always just tell me, he goes, what the hell is with all your drugs here and the side effects?
Yeah.
Whenever there's a commercial for any kind of drug, there's side effects warning on the back end.
Use this to cure your headaches.
Stay away.
It may cause suicidal thoughts,
anal bleeding, all kinds of crap,
all these crazy things.
Yes.
But boy, are you gonna have a great head of hair? You freaking psychos.
They brought it up, and I'm like, that's so true, man.
Yeah, and it's sad, because if you don't buy it, they'll die off. And so it's people, if you don't go to McDonald's anymore, they got to shut it down. But the problem is everybody fucking loves that. And we know that's pure poison. Pure poison. 100% beef is the name of the company. It's not, doesn't mean it's 100% beef. What 100% you talking
There's
about?
No 100%
There's
beef.
Sawdust and mealworms in there.
I don't know what else is in there, man.
There's crazy. Okay, maybe I don't want to get sued saying there's sawdust, but like,
on a job site, there'd be sawdust. You
Lots
open
of
it up
sawdust.
and you put sawdust on it. So there's sawdust on a 100% beef patty.
you know what? If I eat from fast food, sick right away.
You feel sick.
Right away.
You feel like you want to lay down and get me to ICU.
Yeah. And here's the thing. You have to get it out of your head that everybody wants what's best for you.
That's bullshit.
Especially if it's a publicly traded company, like it's on the stocks, all they care about is their bottom line. So if they have to take out milk and add bull sperm to make it cheaper or whatever they're going to do, that's what they're going to do.
Isn't it sad that McDonald's started with tallow?
With who?
Tallow.
What's
They
that?
made their fries in tallow, beef tallow.
What's that? Oh, with like the fat of the beef. Yeah. Beautiful.
Which was healthy.
Yeah. But
now they don't.
Did you watch that the movie about McDonald's that
Oh, you mean with the founder?
Yeah, the founder,
Michael Keaton. Yeah,
Michael Keaton. Yes. Did you watch that?
I respect McDonald's for that,
for allowing that to come out.
Well, no, it's
for one,
for the smart business sense that person Ray Kroc was, but Ray Kroc basically stole that idea.
Yeah,
and he was clever about it.
Yeah, and any. Like
he
this,
twisted it
right from the owners, the original owners. And it became more of a real estate company.
It's a land company.
Yeah, smart,
business smart,
super
wise,
smart,
ethic and everything.
Yeah.
Fuck no,
because the original owners wanted to stay healthy.
Yes.
They wanted to do all. They didn't want to.
That was always the original.
That was, and he's like, I want you. He did everything he could.
Fake milkshakes.
Yeah, to finally choke them out.
I know,
and
they did.
Okay, so here's the thing. There's a movie right in front of everybody's face.
But people still go and buy it.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody who goes to McDonald's
because you know what?
days.
Half of those people that watch the movie, just the movie. Don't worry about it.
It's not true.
Yeah, it's not true. It's crazy. It's like
when the movie starts and says this is a true story.
Yeah, but no,
not all of it is a true story.
Oh yeah, some of it was made up. I'm sure all that fake stuff was made up. Do you know what I mean? It's I don't know what it is. I don't know if we're scared to wake up, because I think people are scared to wake up.
They don't want to see.
When I lived at home versus when I moved out. First time I moved out, I got onto the internet and I started seeing things that I've never seen before. And the internet is crazy because there's everything good, bad, true, and false. And you got to be careful not to go down the wrong rabbit hole and get tricked. But for me, it's if it doesn't feel right, zapag run.
It's
like
on.
Run.
I know. That's how it
Hey,
is.
quick question. How come I never see your assistant on the camera? He's not that ugly.
Because the cameras are always pointing this way.
Always
That's
over
why.
here, always, right? Joe Rogan.
Nobody knows what that side looks like.
You got Joe Rogan's got his guy. What's his name? Jamie.
But nobody's ever seen Jamie.
What's the name of your Jamie?
Otto.
Hey, Otto. Thank you for all the stuff you do behind the scenes. The stuff that
what
people.
What does Jamie look like?
I don't even know.
He's referencing. I've referenced Otto. Yeah. That's how it is.
Yeah. No, but Otto, you're not a bad looking man. Look at that. Looks like are you Portuguese?
No.
That's right. He's too handsome to be Portuguese.
Not everybody's Portuguese, man.
You're Portuguese though, right?
I'm Portuguese.
From where?
From Pique.
From Pico.
Yeah.
You were born there?
No, I was born in France.
Shut up. That's crazy. That's crazy. Wow. When did you come to Canada?
78.
I was born in 78.
I'm 53.
Wow. Yeah, so you were just still a little kid.
Attention homeowners and businesses. Are you looking for top-notch electrical contracting services you can trust? Consider the expert tradesperson behind Effect Electric Ltd. They take pride in delivering quality, service, and professional installation on time and on budget. From Kohler generators to main service upgrades or network data installation, they do it all. With years of experience and a commitment to excellence, Carlo and his team at Effect Electric Ltd. are your go-to professionals for all your electrical and generator needs. Effect Electric Ltd. is an authorized Kohler home energy generator dealer. Kohler has air-cooled 26 RCA units, the quietest, the most powerful, and exceptionally durable generator with 109 amps max power on liquid propane. Custom color options, camouflage options, and every generator Kohler makes is built to last and is equipped with a commercial-grade engine. Call Effect Electric Ltd. today at 416-508-7725 or visit them at effectelectricltd.kohlergeneratordealer.com. Let's build something great together. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life.
My grandfather came to Canada in the 40s.
What was Canada in the 40s like?
Empty. He was, I believe, he used to work on the railroads. And he
With all
was...
the Asians?
Well, no, because he was Portuguese people working. So Portuguese built Toronto, bro, in the 40s.
I know, but Canada back then was all abusive towards the Asians regarding construction.
It was
mining and everything.
Mining and stuff.
Yeah.
You know why they put the round, like the Japanese, they put or the Chinese, they would put a red mark on their back, like on their overalls. It was my grade 6 teacher told me this. It was so that they had something to point to aim at. I was like, yeah.
Are they teaching that same lesson today?
Of course not, because they want to just...
They're getting rid of all the white people in history.
You know what? Working... when you're in school, because school is kind of controlled a certain way...
Kind of?
Your mentality as a student...
They're teaching shit.
...really changes when you leave. Like, I was a liberal... When I was in high school, I was liberal.
Liberal was always associated with arts and creativity.
Yes.
Always. Supportive of it. Not today.
Today it's
other than being performers.
I think what it is, I think it's not really Trudeau's fault. I just think he just doesn't have enough backbone to stand up to the guys who are paying his way, because you need votes and you need committees. You need all that to become prime minister or become in the cabinet. You need people to vote you in. You know what I mean? So you need that money behind you. So I kind of get it. I just think after seeing videos of his mother, because a lot of Trudeau's mom old videos is coming up. She was kind of very eccentric. I believe
I would use a different word.
Yeah, I believe a little loosey goosey. I believe Castro is his dad. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
100%. You know what I mean? So things like that. After seeing where he came from, I get it. You know what I mean? I kind of get it. I don't think it's right. I don't agree with it. I've always been the guy that, you know, if it doesn't feel right to me, I won't do it. Buddy, I used to be a drug dealer back in the day, and I wouldn't sell somebody something that I wouldn't do myself. You know what I mean? I used to sell weed and a little bit of that. Right?
When it was illegal.
When it was illegal. That's how cool I was. I used to sell that shit when it was illegal. But I wouldn't go find the cheapest weed to sell somebody. No, I would find weed and I'd smoke
quality.
it. And if it was good, I'd buy a pound of it and I'd sell it off, right? But I knew guys who would go buy stuff and just because it was cheap. And then just kind of mix it in sometimes. Yeah, and you like mix it in and stuff. And I wouldn't do that. And because I was like that, I did very well. You know, I stopped because I had a daughter and I was like, you know what, I can't do this halfway. You know, I can't have a daughter and, you know, live this lifestyle. It just doesn't work. So that's kind of how I stopped. But buddy, I was making so much money that I would have my construction checks sitting in my drawer. I didn't even cash my checks. Yeah, it was crazy. They can't get me for this now. It's been a long time, but I had that success, but I still said, no way, you can't, like, this is wrong. I'm feeding the machine. And then I thought, what if I feed this machine and eventually this gets back to my daughter when she's old enough? And now because of
small town girl coming off the bus,
right?
That's why.
And then I thought, you know what? What if I feed the machine that gets her hooked onto something?
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? And so that's why I was like, no, I had to stop. It was my conscience. You know what I mean? Nowadays you can't buy me. You know, anybody out there who has lots of money, you can try. Send me whatever money you want, but
it just seems that politicians that are governing everything are all bought and paid for.
And I think it's another thing too. I think if you're godless, if you don't have a belief,
you have to be that way to be that person.
Exactly. And so these people they're not afraid of what happens after all this. After you see this,
they don't think there's karma.
Yeah, they don't believe in karma. They don't believe in that. I believe in that 100%. I believe in karma.
I would love to see karma on the news one day.
It'll happen, but I think karma will hit some of these people so bad that we won't see it, but people will suffer. Like, I know my karma has changed dramatically since I cleaned my life. You know what I mean? Since I started doing things for me and trying to do the right thing. Like, karma. Last night, I got out of the hospital. I come home and I look at my Instagram. I'm like, what the heck? There's a DM, like an inbox message from Justina Valentine. Now, if you don't know who Justina Valentine is, you know that show Wildin' Out with Nick Carter? The black guy who has all those kids?
Nick Cannon.
Nick Cannon.
Yeah.
She's on that show. She's the redhead who's on that show. I don't watch
that show.
Yeah, so she's got millions of followers on Instagram. She messages me and said, listen, I got a new song dropping. If you make a video, I'll post it. Translation, if you make a video with my music, I'll make you famous. Because I did it last night at midnight, and there's over 6,000 views overnight because she put it on her thing.
How did she find you?
I did a video with one of her songs before.
Okay.
And it got over 20,000 views on it. It was like a construction video, and it was get your money up. And it's just the way that the camera worked and the zoom and everything. It just looked so perfect. It looked like that music was made for those videos.
For that song.
For that, right? So she messaged me out of the blue, and she might have messaged other people too. I'm not saying. But then I said, hey, you mean is it the song that's in black and white and you look really hot in it, right? And she's like, so then she answers me back, yeah, haha, and like hee and LOL, and so it's her. It's not a robot. It's her. And I was
team.
like, yeah. And I was like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like, okay, cool. Yeah, I'll do it. I'm working on the video right now. It's a little bit inspirational. So it's the if you go on my Instagram.
When are you dropping that? Or you dropped it already?
I already dropped it. I dropped it last night at midnight. My people who watch my stuff, because you know on Instagram, if you go to your dashboard, it tells you what kind of people will look at your stuff, what time they look at it.
You got time to look at all that stuff?
I investigate. So I'm in the know.
Wait, not this one, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, this one.
Yeah. Right? right? And I got a little inspirational message on the, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The little words. See, and you look at it and you start giggling because it's funny. Like
that's the whole point.
I'm a funny dude. Like it just.
That's the point.
I was born this way, and when I see
Lady Gaga.
Yeah, I was born this way, and when I see comedians and stuff doing their thing, I'm like, listen, it's time for me to live for me. I've already lived half my life. You know what I mean? And I did everything that everybody else told me to do to make everybody happy. And instead of going right into this 20 years ago or 30 years ago, I'm doing it now. I have friends of mine that went to school with me. They're on TV now. One guy works for Cabby Cabral Richards. He works for Sportsnet or whatever, right? And he's gotten to interview so many people like Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and all these things. But he's a funny guy. He's like, hey, give me a hug. You know what I mean? Like he does things out of the box. And it's so funny. He had this one thing with Kobe Bryant. He's like, hey, here's the key to my house. So anytime you come to Toronto, you can come to my house here, no problem. And he's like, you got a key to your place kind of thing, right? And then Kobe's like, oh, yeah, here's the address. And you go, and then he goes to the address and it's actually a church. You know what I mean? So it's just that thing of being funny. Like I grew up with such amazing people.
But maybe back in your 20s, you weren't ready to tackle this.
And that's the thing that I always say. Like I am so much smarter now. I think if it was back in my 20s, I probably would have been on one of those Diddy lists. You know what I mean? If I got invited to those parties, I would have probably went. You know?
Like what? Is this a good angle?
Yeah. Hey, how you doing?
Is that where the camera's at?
Yeah. You guys need more baby oil? Hold on a second. First of all, I don't know how this guy got so many bottles of baby oil.
It wasn't from Costco.
No, it was. Did you see how fast they were like, no, it wasn't us. We don't even sell that shit. We have nothing to do with Diddy.
Do they? I haven't been to Costco, so I don't know. Do they sell it?
They said they don't sell it.
That's bullshit.
It's actually bad for you. Baby oil is bad for you. You're not supposed to put it on your skin.
They must sell it.
No, they said they don't. In the press release,
they probably pulled it before they announced
They're
it.
like, hey, everything up,
gone.
Clean up on aisle 1. Take everything off.
Put it in the Tesla trash compactor.
Yeah. All the baby oil, get it out of here. I've never been like I think he had all that baby oil because he probably threw a party, and entry fee was a bottle of baby oil. You know what I mean? So everybody brought a bottle because there's no way.
That was a swag bag kind of thing?
Yeah, it was like the swag. Yeah, no, it was what people had to bring to get into the party. Entrance. Like I've been to parties that like you got to bring like a non-perishable food. You know what I mean? Something like
What's
that.
What's the password? 2 bottles of baby oil.
Baby oil. Yeah, I don't know if my friends aren't that cool, but I've only brought like non-perishable foods to parties. I've never brought baby oil. But he was actually putting liquid G in the baby oil. And because of my past, I know that liquid G has like a feeling just like baby oil. Like it feels like baby oil. So this fucker was putting it in the bottles.
And it would absorb it.
And he'd give you a massage. And then all of a sudden you wake up with a sore ass. You know what I mean? Because, hey, well, I swear to God, back in my 20s, I had some fun. And there was 4 of us. Me, my buddy, and 2 girls. And we're all messing around, and we all take liquid G, and I take the one girl, he takes the other, and I go down, you know what I mean? And I'm like this, and all of a sudden, I hear, like, I didn't hear, because obviously I fell asleep. The girl's like, hey, he just fell asleep in my legs. He just fell. I swear to God, I was like, boom. I just fell asleep there. And when I woke up, they were like just getting cleaned up and stuff. I'm like, oh, what the heck?
What I miss?
Yeah, what I miss? And it felt like seconds. Like I was out, and then what the heck? And it felt like seconds. But who knows how? It was long enough that they were all done.
Oh.
Yeah. And I was like, what the heck's going on? So that shit's powerful. And so if this guy's rubbing it on people without them knowing.
You remember when his white parties were such a huge event on media?
Yeah.
All the celebs that were showing up there, rolling up in white, and now here are all the stories.
And I get it. People want to become famous. He's like, hey, you want to be in my video? Here, come to this after party. You know what I mean? Have everybody there. Hey. And I get it because I've lived different lives. In my 20s, that was super common, having a crazy party, everyone and then, all the losers leave, and then, a few of the people stay, and yeah, we might mess around and do, right? So I get it. Plus, this guy's a millionaire. You're in his mansion. all of a sudden you're caught by all the lights, but you have predators around you.
Yep.
Those guys are predators.
And he's dangling all this stardom shit.
All this thing, and then all of a sudden you get a pill in your...
All you got to do is this.
Yes, and then he's recording it. So then when we're done, and you're like, oh, I want to get the fuck out of here. Oh, yeah? Well, if you say anything, I'm going to show this video, and your career is never going to get off the ground. So you either work with me or, a lot of those guys, a lot of that era was super shady in entertainment, and not just in music, in acting and stuff. I've heard stuff where the producer would have a couch.
Oh, I know.
In his office. What the fuck is the couch for?
I know.
Yeah, like Judy Garland said a story when she was like 14 years old. The one guy was in there like naked beside her, and she like giggled because she was a virgin. She giggled, but she felt uncomfortable, whatever. And he's like, oh, okay, get out of here. And
it's just power corrupts people.
And the other producer was trying to do her mom. Like, what the heck? It's
anytime something happens and you get a huge bunch of celebrities quiet as mice, not saying a single word for or against it, you got a question.
Yeah, huge thing.
You got a question.
Yeah, when there's no water in the reservoir and the place burns down.
It's
I'm
nice
no
to
expert.
see Mel Gibson on Rogan's show talking about. You got to wonder why.
And here's the thing, Mel Gibson. You see the way he talks. He's talking about stuff. He's like very careful with what he's saying.
Yeah.
But you know what? It's as crazy as the media made him out to be. He's going to be doing this Resurrection
the
movie.
sequel.
Yeah, and it's 20 years after.
Almost 25.
Yeah, and he had so much backlash from producers and stuff. No one wanted to release
I love that
the
story.
film.
Nobody wanted to pay $35 million to make that movie.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to support it.
Yeah.
He paid for the whole thing himself.
Yeah, and then actually I think he got one guy to help, but then that guy was told, hey, if you help him, you'll be finished
You'll never
within 5
work.
years. Yeah. Which is insane. Like,
But
really,
that's the entertainment industry.
that's crazy. Like, really, who is behind all that stuff?
Attention aspiring tradespeople and entrepreneurs. Looking to break into the skilled trades or start your own home service business? Meet Trade Links Consulting, your go-to partner for success. At Trade Links Consulting, they're passionate about helping you find the right trade, build your business, and mentor the next generation. Whether you're exploring your options or ready to take the plunge, they offer tailored career consulting and startup guidance to get you on the right track. Visit them at www.tradelinkconsulting.ca today and book your personalized strategy session. Your future in the skilled trade starts here. This message is proudly supported by the Construction Life.
Hey, this whole Illuminati stuff, that shit's real. I know a guy.
Do you have your mask picked out, your cloak?
Yeah, right. I know a guy, super famous. I'm not going to even talk about his name because I don't want him to get anything. But he told me, listen, this Illuminati shit is real.
Of course.
Because my friend, who he didn't say his name because he didn't want to give him, he says he was at one of those freaking meetings. And they're talking about different, they're talking about they want to make everybody eat like food that's made in gel caps and stuff. Like they're really pushing.
I was
this.
just thinking, what if it was like a bunch of construction workers that were actually going to the Illuminati and discovering that and what that goes on?
Oh yeah, I think the construction workers right away would figure out a way to brick it up when they're all in there, light it on fire. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me?
Maybe pulling all the cloaks down.
Oh, yeah.
Holy fuck, are you serious?
Hey, that's you? Secano, what are you doing over here with the cloak? You know what I'm saying?
He still has his tool belt on.
Yeah. No, I don't think, you know what? They don't want us there because we're, one, not psychotic enough. And
Exactly.
One, you can't really
We care about people.
Yeah, like, I don't think I'll ever be rich because I think I would do good with that money. And I think money kind of doesn't, it's not like gifts from God. You know what I mean?
I liked what Kerry said one time. He was saying, a lot of people say they want that fame. They want that celebrity status.
Yeah.
And he always says that, try it for a week and see if you really want it.
Yeah.
Because it's true.
Yeah. Everybody wants it until it actually happens. And then you can't go anywhere. Yeah, okay, sure. The money is awesome. You're living in a big house and all that stuff. And I'm sure there's ways to work around it. But if you have to sell bits of your soul to achieve it, it's not worth it.
The price is too high.
Yeah, because I believe, you know what I mean? Something more than me. You know what I mean? And by doing that also, it takes a lot of pressure off of you because no matter what, you're going to be okay. As long as you do the right thing, you're gonna be okay, you know. And you know, I just try to do the right thing. I just try to be good. And you know, I've been poor, I've been rich, so nothing affects me anymore. You know what I mean? I just want to be happy.
Denzel Washington said it best. He's like, just leave before the devil shows up.
That's the thing. And when you're doing well, you're going, and that's the thing.
The devil's gonna show up.
Yeah, and I'm kind of glad that I'm doing the comedy and everything now at this stage of the game, because I'm more ready for it. Like you said before, I'm more prepared for all this stuff.
You needed the maturity.
Yeah, I did. And plus, I think now I can relate with what's going on and say things more on an educated level. My teacher, I was saying earlier, my teacher Tim Seabrook, big shout out to him. He told me, don't go for the easy laugh. You know what I mean? Like swearing, falling down, farting. You know what I mean? Those are cheap laughs. Go for the smart laugh. Go for the laugh where you tie people up and they go, ah, and then they go, oh, that's freaking hilarious. You know what I mean? And so little things like of advice that I took. I had another buddy, Brennan, another shout out to him. He was a big effect in my life too. He told me, don't lose that inner child that you have, because you come into the room and you light it up because you're just like, you know what I mean?
Never forget that.
Yeah.
Never forget the moment that you got in front of the light.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, and don't.
Because those moments will come up.
Yeah. And a lot of people have traded that for fame or whatever.
Money,
yeah.
all that stuff.
A lot of these people that you see on TV, they have to do what the producer tells them to do, or they don't have a job next week.
I kind of respected what Chappelle did when he did disappear.
When he did disappear.
And he said no to 50.
Yeah.
And it was because his dad always said, listen, walk away whenever they ask you to do something that's more money than you ever asked for.
Well, he also said, know what your limit is.
Yeah.
And don't forget that line when it's time to cross it, and stay within that line. You know what I mean? Don't ever outsell yourself for the fame. Like, don't sell your soul for fame. We've said this a lot today, but
it's nice that he came back and then took the 50.
Yeah,
plus
well, he came
Netflix.
back. He came back and he made way more.
Yeah.
Like, he's way more, and he made more of an effect. He opened a lot of eyes. I think he saved a lot of parts of comedy because
he was the only one that was diving into stuff that nobody would talk about.
Yeah, when I started getting into comedy, I was in the cancel culture. That was really popular when I started, and so. Plus COVID and everything, I think what it did, it kind of gave me a little opening, and I seen where it was, and I snuck in. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think even though it was a really hard time to do comedy because places weren't open, it was slow enough that I could catch up to it. You know what I mean? It was going slow enough that I could see what's going on and the trends and seeing what's happening, and I was like, okay, good. And being true to myself, like not changing my thing. My friend told me, listen, why are you writing jokes? Everything you need is below your nose. Like everything from here down, that's all you need. And I was like, yeah, I guess it's the personality.
Yeah.
It's the personality. Robin Williams, for example. Do you know that he would say a lot of jokes that weren't even his? He would say stuff that he'd hear from comedy clubs or whatever. And there was this one guy in particular that he would use a lot of his stuff. And that guy would call his agent and say, hey, you owe me money again. You know what I mean? And his agent would just write a check and send it to him. Because Robin, he would just take everything in. He was a stage actor.
Yeah.
That's how he started. So he was good at remembering stuff. You know, that was good. And he was funny and everything, and he knew how to play the audience, and he knew, like, he was special guy. But because of his personality, that's what made him famous.
Yeah.
So it's not the jokes I'm going to tell. It's this vibe that I bring and this light that I bring. This is what I want to really showcase. And really, I think if in 5 years from now, if we talk and I'm either dead or working construction,
come
or
back and talk about
we'll do
it.
Again. And that's the thing. But I like, especially right now, I feel like I'm in a real positive spot in my life. And I feel momentum, you know what I mean? And honest to God, there's people all the time that say things to me that if I listened to them right now, I wouldn't be here today. Do you know what I mean? I wouldn't be sitting here.
You can't listen to them.
You can't, because at the end of the day, if you don't do what you need to do, you're the one who's going to have the haunted. You're going to be haunted. Oh, why didn't I do that? Why did I do that? It was right there. Do you know what I mean? So I don't want to live life with regrets. You know, a friend of mine used to work with people before they were passing away. And he says, rich, poor, white, black, male, female, they all said the same thing. Yeah. I wish I would have spent more time with family. I wish I would have done this. I wish I would have done that. It wasn't, oh, I wish I would have made more money.
Nope.
Because you can't take it with you. So for everybody who's selling out to the bad guys, you're stupid. Don't do it. Just do what you're supposed to do.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's too easy.
It's
Just stop
very
taking
easy.
the way out. You know, you know what's going to drop next? It's going to be either aliens or something's going to drop before.
Oh, before the 20th.
Yeah, before the 20th, right?
Something's happening.
Yeah, something's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. Listen, if this is for everybody right now. If they say, oh, there's aliens, they're not freaking aliens. It's either China or the States or whatever that they have all this technology they're not showing us. Buddy, on the internet, because I get most of my news from Instagram. You know what I mean? That's a good place to get
Instagram and TikTok.
Yeah, to get my news. And on there, they show all kinds of stuff like flying stuff from like beetles' wings and magnets. And if you have two magnets and all these power from the air, ether, the old buildings. Buddy, my rabbit hole, my what do you call that? The algorithm?
Yeah.
My algorithm.
The chemtrails and everything.
Oh, everything.
I picture Dr. Evil's fucking lair and the assistant there going, release the aliens.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
there's, so whatever's going to come out, it's just to trick us.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're doing something else.
Distract.
Yeah, don't be distracted by these crazy people out there. And, some people might hear me talking and go, oh, my God, that guy's crazy. This guy's a conspiracy. Listen, stuff that we were talking about 2-3 years ago that were conspiracies are now true.
It's all true. And
Right?
documented in paperwork
Yeah.
at the
But
tax
people
dollars.
still don't want to believe it.
I know. It's actually verified.
Yeah. Buddy, Bill Gates says we need to reduce the population.
Oh, Bill
so
Gates
if we use vaccines properly,
I need a Finnish carpenter to build Bill Gates a casket.
Noah.
And then I need an excavator.
Guys like that don't need caskets. Well, guys like that, they need to be buried to the neck like this. So when people walk by, they give them a slap for being stupid. That's what they need. These people, death is too easy for these
You
guys.
can't listen to anybody that's preaching about saving the planet while they're jet setting on fucking private
or
planes.
talking about health and they got bigger tits than you.
Yeah.
Fucking beat it. You're not even a chick. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like, beat it. Bill Gates is so out of shape. But that's karma. That's karma. His wife left him, blah, blah, blah. Why? Because what? No, it's karma.
So I like seeing RFK and he's like exercising, working out.
Yeah.
How old is he? 70?
I would say.
I think he's 70.
The poor, with the voice thing, I don't know if that's just an older thing.
No,
or,
it's a condition that he has, right?
Yeah.
But it's just like he stayed, and he's gone through his battles.
Yeah.
And but he's stayed healthy, and he knows everyone knows what's involved.
And he doesn't need to be preaching about. He's not doing this for money.
He's putting a target on his back right now.
Yeah, he's a Kennedy. Isn't
Yeah.
He? Yeah. So he comes from a rich family. He doesn't need his wife. His wife is
thing
from Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Yeah.
Right. So he doesn't need to do any of this stuff. He's doing it because he's like,
he wants to change.
He's one of the good guys.
Yeah.
I believe he's one of the good guys. Trump,
a lot of people are saying
I don't know if Trump is one of the good guys.
We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I don't know if Elon Musk is one of the good guys, because if you go back, if you look at the Bible, you look at history, you look at whatever, talk about the mark of the beast and all this stuff. Now this guy wants to put computer chips in your brain. I don't know. Like, are we supposed to change over from half human, half thing?
I've always said Musk is like on the verge of being a villain.
Musk is going to be the guy who unleashes the Antichrist on the world or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know what's really going on. For me, I think, okay, I joke about it that, hey, you know what? I hope that before I die, they can put my energy, my soul in a robot and I could live forever. I'll do construction as a robot. No problem. You don't get tired. You know what I mean? Just give me a new leg or something. You know what I mean?
Dense to the head.
But I think if you do that, I think it's going to trap your soul. And I don't think you're going to go to the afterlife or whatever. And even this, like, the more and more that I'm, getting older and stuff, and I kind of see things, and you got to stay open-minded. and you know that the world is such a crazy place, you know, it's like, what do you believe? Like what? So the only thing that I can do is love everyone and do unto others like I want them to do to me. And as long as you do that, I think you're pretty safe.
I agree.
Right? And if everybody had that kind of mindset, I think it would be okay. And you can't complain or blame it on the way you were raised or the situation, because I know people that were born, you know, without parents, and now they are very successful. I know people who were born in the ghetto and now they have mansions. So there's no excuses.
There's always someone that's worse off than you.
Oh, 100%.
No matter how bad you think you are,
yeah,
there's always someone that's worse off.
Whenever something bad happens to me, I'm like, it could be worse.
It could be a lot worse.
It could be a lot worse.
What else you want to share there, Brian, before I get to the 12 questions, man? Oh, actually, we haven't even mentioned the BS show.
Oh, yeah, we got this.
Holy shit.
Is this showing on the cameras? Can you guys see this thing?
Yeah, totally. We can see that. So the BS show is actually not a BS show.
No, it's hosted by Brian and Steve. Huh? Pretty smart. I'm a genius when it comes to that stuff.
It's coming up when?
It's starting in March. It's going to be March 16th in Toronto at Backroom Comedy Club on Bloor.
Bloor and what?
Bloor and... where's where I grew up? Crawford.
Crawford area.
Yeah, so okay. Crawford and Bloor. So it's basically around the corner where I was born.
So disappointed to see Honest Ed's gone, eh?
Oh, Honest Ed's. I remember that as a kid. That was the best place.
Is it a condo now? I think it's a condo.
Yeah, I think they ripped everything down and they made big condo. Go out and see some condo. Hey, all those condos are empty.
I know they are.
All those, they're, what?
I know they are.
And then why is our price so expensive? Like, come on, guys, stop being greedy.
Because the wealthy people are making more money.
You know what? I bet you there's some kind of kickback they get for having it empty. That, they need to get subsidized because, you know what I'm saying? The squeaky wheel gets that oil all the time. But
so every month you're going to be doing this show.
So every third Sunday of the month, starting in March, the show starts at 6, but I get there about an hour early, and maybe I will devote 45 minutes, a half hour to for comedians that want to come in, that want a chance to get on a show. Give them a shot. So they'll come up, I'll say, hey, what's up? Whatever, we talk, and then I'll let them say something funny. If I think they're funny, I'll put their name in the bucket. And if I really like them, I'll say, hey, you know what? You earned yourself 5 minutes on the show or whatever, at 6 o'clock. Showtime, right? So it kind of gives everybody a chance to get on stage, because that's the thing with comedians here in Canada. We work as a comedian for free 90% of the time.
Yeah.
Like, imagine working construction for free. Are you crazy? If I'm not going to get paid at the end of the day, that quick cut is coming home with me. Like, what are you talking about? Right? But in comedy, there's so many guys and ladies and gentlemen always like doing stuff for free, and I'm trying to change that. So I started producing already. I've been producing my own shows for over a year now. I started in Stratford with Little Leaf, which is one of my cannabis sponsors.
Yeah.
And I started there doing that, and then I just started producing shows. Instead of me kissing someone's ass to try to get on their show for free, I said, no. I'm going to do the show because people are going to like me as a host, right? Because I know how to be a host. Like, the host can't be the main attraction.
No.
You got to just keep the flow going, right? So, I'm fine with that. If I can get 5 minutes between everybody, that's 35 minutes at the end of the show, right? So for me, I could tell one joke, and then I could tell my next joke, and I could tell my next joke. So I could take the whole crowd with me on this journey, and by the time I do that last joke, they're going to remember that first joke. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So I'm doing it with Steve Mello, and I met him.
His podcast? Sorry, what was his?
His podcast is called Duh Podcast.
Duh Podcast.
Yeah, so it's on
like
his shirt.
Duh Hood.
Like Duh Hood, yeah. So he wanted to do something a little different.
DA for all you white people.
He's done like over 400 shows already.
Whoa.
And he does like one a week.
Wow.
He's very consecutive. So for me, I need because I'm so, crazy. I need a guy like him who can count the beans for me. You know what I mean? So I need a guy who's going to compliment me. You know what I mean? But also can kind of keep things on track.
Yeah.
So I think we're going to have a very good compliment. Plus, for this show, I have friends of mine who already do comedy. So for every show, I'm going to have a special guest who's also going to be like a judge with us. But I'll let that special guest open the show with their 15, their 10, 15, whatever routine. So my goal is to get as many people involved in the show as possible. So by Christmas time, when I do the last show on the 21st of December, I believe, I want the place packed. You know what I mean? I want the place packed. And I'm not worried about making money. I'm worried about making a good show. You know, Backroom Comedy wants to make some money. They're like, oh, we'll give you this spot. But, you know, we want to put butts in the seats.
Of course.
Now, Backroom Comedy is run by two guys who are comedians themselves, Ariel and Brandon. Okay. And they're both very different. Like Brandon is the fun, you know, goofy one, smokes weed, you know what I mean? Like silly guy. And then Ariel is very on the line. Like I'll tell a joke and Brandon's like, oh, you're the best. And then Ariel's like, not that funny. You know what I mean? He keeps me humble. But like I said,
you in line,
I need a guy like that to keep me humble so that I could be better. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I appreciate both of them. Now for comedians to run a comedy club is priceless. You know what I mean?
It's the best.
Yeah, because they know what it is to be a comedian, right? So I'm really super excited. And honestly, Backroom Comedy is the only comedy club that I ever perform in.
Three-Way the World. These little puppies. I'm speaking from experience. I've actually installed these and I love these. Three-Way prefabricated inside drywall corner. The first one-piece solution for perfect, crisp corners every time. With Three-Way, you'll improve your quality, save on labor, and cut down on time. Traditional methods require 3 tapes, lots of sanding, and high skill. But with Three-Way corners, they install in just a fraction of the time with fewer steps. It is adjustable for any angle, reinforced to cover gaps, and designed to blend seamlessly into the corner. Say goodbye to pesky touch-ups and hello to flawless finishes. Try Three-Way today and revolutionize your drywall game. Perfect corners every time. To purchase or check out some how-to videos to see the installs in action, visit threeway.ca or connect with them at 306-514-3768 or drop them an email at threewaytheworld@gmail.com. Connect with me, TCL, and stop by the studio and get a free pack on us for anyone to try. And trust me, I'm telling you, you'll love it. This message is proudly supported by The Construction Life.
Like, I've been true to them because they're the ones who gave me my first shot. You know, the very first time I did stand-up comedy, you know where I was? I was at a rehab center. Yeah, because I did construction for 25 years, and I developed an allergy to concrete. Right? Yeah. So
you're Portuguese. How do you get an allergy to concrete?
I know. Mike Rita said, hey, man, if you don't want to be Portuguese, just say it. You don't have to say that you're allergic to concrete. So I used to get rashes, and I still do. If I touch concrete because of all the chemicals that's in it, I'll rash up. My face gets rashed. My neck. I didn't get it on my neck.
There's got to be new chemicals in there or something like that.
Oh, there's tons of chemicals.
Wow.
So, 25 years, I got allergy to concrete, but also because of 25 years of construction, I got an allergy to cocaine, right? So, and it's not even that I like cocaine. I just like the way it smelled. You know what I mean? So I was at a rehab center and they had a talent night on Saturdays.
At the rehab center?
At the rehab center. So sometimes people would sing.
Okay.
You know what I mean? You would sing or whatever, because we're cut off from the outside world. We don't have phones. We don't have TV. We don't have nothing.
Did you kill? Like, did they laugh?
So, you know how hard it is
I can imagine.
to do
That's
comedy at a place where nobody cares? Like, everybody is like just thinking about why they're in there, you know what I mean? Just twitching in their seats. I couldn't say certain things. You're not allowed to talk about certain things that might trigger people. Oh my God. I became the cleanest comic because of that place. So that was my first, attempt at stand-up. And yeah, I did really good. By the next week. So after I did my comedy, another guy who was there went to go do comedy because he wanted to copy me. He thought he was cool. And he started talking about everybody there. And you can't do that. So what happened? No more comedy allowed. This band.
But did they laugh? Did they laugh?
They laughed, kind of. But then he would say stuff that, so-and-so is banging so-and-so. And you're not even allowed to have relationships there. And one of the guys was married. Like, you can't talk about stuff like he wasn't that, like, I didn't find him funny. Like, I didn't, he was going for
Brian, there's a fucking movie in there. It's almost like a comedy version of Who Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, man.
I could really, honest to God, we're gonna make a movie.
I'm telling you, there's a movie there, man.
But what a life! Like, if this was a 10-hour podcast, it still wouldn't have enough time. Like, I got 30 years of bent up stories.
Did anybody record the rehab skit that you did?
No, we're not allowed to have phones.
Come on.
Oh my God! But
you imagine bringing in people, paying admission, having a bar.
Yeah, having a bar at that'll go over well, like Mother's Day at the orphanage. That'll go over beautiful. What are you talking about? No, we weren't allowed to do nothing. And then because that guy did his thing, he right away we got to cancel. No more comedy,
bullshit, man.
So then we're only allowed to sing.
You're the producer. You should have came in.
Yeah.
We're still going.
So the next week, I sang, right? So I started singing. So I had like 2 or 3 songs. But you know how some songs have like a little space where it's just music?
Yeah.
Like I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston.
Yeah, the crescendo, yeah.
Yeah, so I sang that, right? So then in the middle of the time, in that middle, I'd be like, before I came to Bellwood, I didn't want to be here, but then I seen all of you and so everyone's laughing right? So I was able to still get my thing because nobody tells me what to do. I'm too old to tell me.
You did a little.
I just do a little eat. I'm like, you can't do that. Oh, no problem. And then I figure out a way to get in there. I would make an excellent politician.
And it worked, right?
And it worked. It was everybody laughed. Everybody had a good time. Buddy, when I left that place, I went back to visit, and they said, this place has never been the same without you.
So come back and do it.
Yeah. You know what? I think I'm gonna go give them a little visit. Because I'm alumni, so you're allowed to go back anytime you want. Because to stay clean, I think I also need to help people.
Yes,
I think that keeps me clean as well.
Yeah.
I battled with addictions for decades, bro, decades. My life, where it could be, where it was, it's so crazy. But what helps me is helping other people now. And really doing comedy, I think it's kept me clean too, because I wouldn't do drugs a week or 2 before comedy. So when I started, I was still struggling. I was still struggling with stuff 3-4 years ago. I was still struggling. And then I noticed that this is something that keeps me clean because I need to be on it. You know what I mean? What I produced on stage was worth more than getting high. Mm-hmm. Do you know what I mean? I wasn't even having fun anymore. It was an addiction. It was a habit. It was stupidity. Do you know what I mean? So, that was my first time was at a rehab center. It's crazy. But backroom comedy gave me my first shot really in a stage. Now, Mike Rita, I did comedy for him at Planet Paradise 2 years before that, but it wasn't really stand-up. It was just, hey guys, turn off your phones. I don't want to hear Justin Bieber playing when we're up here. Do you know what I mean? Like I do my little jokes kind of before the show started, but it wasn't like up there for 10, 20 minutes to do a thing, right? So that's why I'm really excited about
that's going to be great. I mean, that's a lot of work. Yeah,
the first show is already booked. I already have people. I already have headliners. I already have all that stuff. I have comics I've never met before. They've already reached out to me because I have a friend who produces No Filter Comedy, and he's in Yuck Yucks and stuff. He's doing really well. Shout out to Marco. And he's got we have a group chat, and on that group chat is people from all North America. So I put on that group chat, hey, this is the show I'm doing. Whoever wants to do this, DM me, and we'll go from there. So everyone who's DM'd me, I'm like, yeah, if you're there at 5 or 5:30, I'll give you a minute or 2, and you get your name in the bucket. If I really, really like you, then you'll be on the show for sure right away. So it kind of gives everybody a shot at least getting up there. It's already creating a lot of buzz, and it's going to be in March. It's not even now. What I really wanted to touch on today was I'm producing my first tour. So because I live in Stratford, I grew up in Cambridge, and I was born in Toronto, I want to do a tour in those 3 cities. So Valentine's Day, Friday, Valentine's Day, the 14th, if you guys don't know what date that is, your wives probably hate your guts, but February 14th at Little Leaf in Stratford, I'm hosting Women in Comedy Southern Ontario tour. And I know you look at me and you say, well, I could see the hair and the boobs, but you're not a dude. You know what I mean?
In Trudeau's government, you
right?
are.
Yeah, right? So, but I identify as a high maintenance girlfriend in my relationship. So I think that qualifies me to be the thing. Plus, I've met these girls and I've seen what they did and I really liked it. And I'm like, these girls, comedy, everybody's for themselves. You know what I mean? A lot of people are for themselves. So I wanted to change that. Like my friend Marco, he wants to change this too, where a lot of times you go do comedy and it's for free just to get on the board.
I know.
Just to get on the board. Like for 10 years, you're spending gas and time and all this stuff.
Waiting for the break.
Yeah, just waiting for your break. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start making breaks. Because if I don't make it, I'm not going to wait for someone to make. I'm not going to wait for the gatekeeper. Are you kidding? I'm going to make my own gate door and I'm going to hold it open for other people. That's what I want to do.
When's that tour starting?
So that's going to start February 14th in Stratford, February 15th at the Galt Club in Cambridge.
Okay.
And then on the 16th, it's going to be a Backroom Comedy at 6 p.m.
You got a busy friggin' year, man.
Yeah, already. So that's how that's going to go. So like some of the shows already almost sold out. So it's really good. I'm really excited. People are really liking the venue of it. Also, this year, sometime in the summer, Steve Mello and myself and a few other pork chops that are out there, we're going to do Pork Chops in Comedy 4. Yeah, Pork Chops in Comedy 4. So I was involved in Pork Chops in Comedy 3 last year. We did it in Mississauga, the Multicultural Center or something. It's like the Portuguese Club of Mississauga. We had over 200 people there, and at the time that was the biggest show that I did, and I had so much fun with it. And the guys are all really good. You know, Comedy Portuguese, the guy, right? He's in this show too. He got to do.
What's his name?
His name.
I just know him from his handle.
Yeah.
I don't even know what his name is.
Hey, don't we have a Jamie? Hey, Jamie, find out.
We'll find out, or someone will leave a message, right?
Yeah, but Comedy Portuguese, he hosted last year with Steve. But this year, they're like, hey, Brian, I don't know if it's okay with you. Can you host? And I'm like, fucking right. I would rather host than do a set. I would rather host because then I know everybody. I could pump them up. I can get the audience going. I got a crazy voice. I do all kinds of impressions. You know what I mean? So all these things, I'm like, you know what? I'd be proud. I'd be honored to host. So if everything goes okay, it's probably going to happen in June. So
holy shit!
Yeah, so that's what's happening there, and I'm just trying to focus. And there's going to be other projects that are going to come up. Even Steve, who is here, Steve Mello,
the other Steve Mello,
the guy artista, artista,
Stevie for laughs,
yeah. So I've been talking to him and say, hey, let's do some stuff. I know he's not like he hasn't done stand up for very much, but he's got it.
It's there.
He's there. Yeah.
I could see it.
Yeah. And I've been able to spot trends before they're trendy and spot talent before they're famous. You know what I mean?
So you're like a Portuguese Lorne Michaels.
I'm trying to be, yeah. and I want to be able to open up doors for people because I think, like for me, I'll walk in anywhere. I'm not scared. If it's a tuxedo party or if it's when they jump in the mosh pits and stuff, I'll do whatever. I've been everywhere. I've done it. I'm not scared.
No.
But a lot of people, sometimes they're just trying to be polite or just, you know what I mean? But because the way I am, I'll do stuff that maybe isn't the way you're supposed to do it. But because of who I am and how I act, I get away with it. Do you know what I mean? So I'm not only keeping that for me, I also want to bring people along that I think deserve that kind of chance. Friends of mine or people that I meet for the first time that, you know, are just trying to live, bro.
I know there's a lot of Portuguese and Italian guys out there, but do you see a lot of Croatian, Spanish?
Where?
Making this kind of cultural humor. Are they out there?
You know, I think every nationality has their thing because one thing that sells is being relatable to the audience.
Yes.
So that's the main thing. If you're relatable to your audience, they're going to be more engaged. So I believe just like the Indian guy here in Canada, what's his name?
Russell Peters.
Oh, somebody going to get a hurting.
Yeah, yeah.
When the things he says, even though it's Indian, but we still relate to that.
Yep.
Like he talked about going to India thinking that he's so Indian until he got there and realized he's not Indian at all. You know what I mean? When I went to Portugal, I was like, oh yeah, this is easy. I went there with a fishing rod and a tent. I swear to God, fishing rod and a tent. And I get there and I'm reading and I'm like, yo, I can't read this Portuguese. This is not my grandmother's Portuguese. What's going on? This is educated words up here. I don't even know. And then I look and I see my friend's dad and I was like, oh, it was like seeing baby Jesus. I was like, oh, thank God. He's like, hey, let's go. Come with me. Oh, thank God. And I stayed at his place. He got me a rental car, not from the rental cars, but from a car dealer down in Halva, right? Because he lives in Halva, right by the airport. He goes, hey, I know the car dealer there. He's going to rent you a car. Just don't say nothing. You know what I mean? So the guy put a plate on it. Out you go. Do you know what I'm saying? So
whose car is it? Put a plate on it and a screwdriver.
Yeah, no, it was one that he was selling. Like he's a car dealer. So it was one of the ones on the lot. So he put his dealer plate on it. You know what I mean?
Back the odometer when you bring it back.
Well, yeah, no. You can't. How many kilometers are you gonna do on San Miguel, bro? Right?
You get 50 at the most in the whole trip.
One time I went twice. One time he gave me a Citroen, and one time he gave me a BMW or a Mercedes, one or the other.
Upgrade.
Yeah, a little upgrade. Yeah, I think so.
But not the best cars to have on those islands with those roads, man.
They're so small. It looks like the 407, but only one lane. You know, or two lanes.
Yeah.
They had just opened up one of the freeways when I got there. They had just opened it up. It was brand new. And they had like roundabouts.
You guys have a freeway?
Yeah, we got a freeway now.
We
Yes.
have a freeway.
Yeah, so now we have a freeway that you can get across the whole island way faster. But on the freeway, they have roundabouts.
But because it's Europe.
Yeah. Right? But it works because it's not round like here. It's an oval. So the faster traffic, like the main artery,
takes the elongated version of the oval.
And so the people there got to wait and whatever.
Makes sense.
Yeah, but there's whole rules and everything.
Somebody needs to teach the people that are building the roundabouts here in Canada.
A roundabout, people who complain about roundabouts is because they don't know how to drive.
Yeah, that's it.
And a service announcement, you do not stop
at a roundabout
unless there's traffic. You merge. So when I go into a roundabout from like 30, 50, 60 feet back, I start gauging.
You're timing it.
Yeah, I'm timing it so that I go, and get right behind
also,
them.
don't plant anything in the center of the roundabout. I need to see the traffic.
I need to see what's going on.
I don't need to see bushes.
I know why they do it, so that you don't go when you're sleeping at night. But you know what? If they go because they're sleeping at night, they don't deserve to drive.
Exactly.
Because if you're on the road, you better be ready to rock.
If I can see that traffic coming, I know exactly how to merge
time it way better.
Everyone stops.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff.
Too many Toyotas and Hondas stopping.
there's one.
Simplify your construction business. Are you buried under paperwork, chasing down payments, and struggling to stay organized on the job site? Stop wasting time on complicated software or old school spreadsheets. JobTable offers the simplest tool for contractors to manage their business. Send quotes and invoices in seconds. Schedule your team effortlessly. Track every job and payment in one place. Whether you're working solo or managing multiple crews, JobTable makes your business run smoother so you can focus on the work that matters. Try it free today at jobtable.com, the simplest way to grow your construction company.
In Cambridge, one time I had road rage because...
Just one time?
Because somebody didn't go.
The roundabout?
Right, the roundabout. And it got to the point where I think he scratched my car or something. Buddy, I get out of the car and I'm going to go give him shit at his window and I look and it's a little Portuguese guy. And I'm like, fuck, of all the people, I was like, just get out of here, man. You know what I mean? It's just, I drive so many kilometers. I have a Honda Civic because sports cars and trucks and all that it's nice, but not when you're driving 40,000 kilometers a
Honda
year.
Civic will last forever.
Buddy, I bought it just last year. It was like a 2017. It had 9,000 kilometers on it. Whoever owned it before, it must have sat in the garage. It was probably an old man who drove it.
Passed away.
Yeah. So they sold it. So I bought it, got all that money taken off of it. But buddy, it's a brand new car. I got into it. It kind of still smelled new. You know what I mean? So I was like, this is perfect for what I need. I don't have to worry about nothing. And honest to God, I had a Beamer just before. I traded my BMW.
I thought you said you had a Beaver.
Yeah, no. The Beaver's at home. I had a BMW X1 before that. And I thought, hey, it's a 4-cylinder. It's going to...
Sucks. Literally.
BMW, if you buy it brand new, as soon as you pass 4 or 5 years old, it's done. because one, they don't even want to work on it, BMW. They don't even like to, you can't take it to the dealer. They're like, I'm sorry, is this more than 3 years old? Yeah, why don't you just trade it in? We don't want to touch it. And it's so expensive. Every time I took that thing, I paid 21 grand for it. And every time I took that thing into to get service was an extra $1,000. Jeez. And I think I kept that thing for like 2 years, maybe. I don't even know if it lasted that long, but it was $120 to fill it. Okay. Cause you had to put super, and the thing, every time I took it to the shop, it was $1,000. So I'm like, no way, I can't do this. So I traded it in for, and when I traded it in, I think I got like 3-4 grand, like nothing, like hardly nothing. But it was like, take this fucking thing away from me. And I got the Civic. The Civic is half the money for the gas to put in. It's $60.
In today's prices?
In today's prices.
Wow.
Today, yesterday I filled up the car, $59. Can't beat that. I get like for $10 you get 100 kilometers. Okay, so, and it's big. It's lots of room. It's more comfortable than the Beamer was. And I got my cruise control. I got my little computer screen there that I plug my phone and all that stuff. That's all I need. I need cruise control, air conditioning. That's it. And please don't break down. That's all I want.
You ready for these 12 questions?
Yeah, let's go. Let's hit these 12 questions.
So Brian Couto, at Couto_Brian, the BS show starting in March, third Sunday of every month for the rest of the year. Big turnout on December. You're also doing the Women in Comedy Tour starting in Cambridge.
In
Stratford.
Stratford, yeah.
Stratford on February 14th, Valentine's Day. YouTube channel, Brian Couto. And the Snacks of Life podcast, Snacks of Life podcast.
I was on that on episode 7.
Okay,
that was my very first podcast I ever did, right? And I'm gonna be on the podcast. Monday. I'm gonna shoot with him.
Nice.
So that'll be fun. And actually, it's gonna be his first one because he just redid his studio, so it's gonna be the first one that we're actually gonna have a camera and stuff in. So I'm gonna put it on my YouTube.
I'm glad that you reached out and you got in here, man. It's fucking been fun. A person you would trade places with for a day.
I would never trade my life. I'm not as rich as some people. I'm not as smart as some people. I'm not as good looking as some people, but I don't think I would ever trade. But if I was going to trade for a day, I don't know. Maybe I would trade with somebody like Elon Musk or Donald Trump, just so I could see what the heck is really going on. Like I want to trade with somebody who's got info that I don't have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then I'll spill the beans, guys. I would spill the beans. That's why they'll never tell me shit.
But they'll never believe you. They're like, you're full of shit.
You're full of shit. Hey, since I've done comedy, every time I tell somebody something like, ha ha ha, I'm like, no, I'm serious. I got to tell them, I got to remind them I'm being serious.
It's not a joke.
It's not a joke. I'm being serious.
What's your guilty pleasure?
I think my guilty pleasure is... if it was last week, it would have been weed and chocolate. You know what I mean? But since I'm so sick, I think I'm never gonna smoke weed again. I don't know. Like I think I quit that. But I think my guilty pleasure. Yeah, my guilty pleasure now, I think, is just doing a good job and people noticing and getting that recognition and changing other people's. If they're having a bad day, just putting a smile on people's face. Changing the room atmosphere. That's what gets me excited.
What's your least favorite tool?
The pick.
Oh, the pick.
You want me to tell you a story about the pick?
Sure.
So I worked for King Kong. Big shout out to those slave drivers. I had my boss. His name was Carlos, and he goes, "Hey, you're gonna go to the garage and you gotta break the wall so that we could put steel rebar across. So in the garages, there's rebar going in the walls and there's rebar in the middle. So you got to break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 holes in the concrete, like this deep and this round." I said, "Okay, I'm just going to go grab the the jackhammer." He says, "Jackhammer? No. I don't want you to use a jackhammer. You're gonna wreck the point on the jackhammer. I don't want you to do that. Go get the pick. Go get the pick. I'll show you how it's done." And like every foreman, for 5 minutes, they do it. So he takes his pick, and makes a hole. And he's like, "That's how you do it, okay? Let's go." And he leaves me the pick. And after the tear came down my eye, I would go and I'd pick, buddy, not once, many times with that pick. Now I'm like a superhero pick guy now, but buddy, that's the worst. When you
dangerous, man.
When you get steel like this, no goggles or nothing. You're going against concrete like this, bing, bing, and you feel that thing shaking your hands. Kadoosh. So the pick, least favorite.
Biggest risk you ever took?
Well, biggest risk. You know, one time I was like 18 and I worked for Student Works Painter. Student Works. It's like a student painting company, right?
That's what all the kids did in the summertime.
Yeah. And I was good enough that I had my own crew eventually and all this stuff. So I had to paint. It's called gingerbread on the top of the roof, right? I had to paint that out of
a little decorative wood molding.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
So you got to paint that, but it was like out of the attic. There was one window,
the very peak,
and that's the only place because the ladders weren't tall enough. Nothing. That was the only way. So what do I think? Because I'm so smart, I grab a yellow, the yellow rope, and my tool belt that had the clip like this. I tie the rope to the belt and I tie it to the rafters. I'm like, nice. And then I have my hand, so you see, like this, holding the belt and holding the rope, and I'm out there painting. And this little voice is like, let go, let go. I was like, don't let go. So I held on. I swear to God, I finished painting it, and I jump inside, and as soon as I let go, the whole belt fell off my hand. Like, fell off, bloop, right to the ground. And I was like, wow. I was playing with death, and I didn't even know. If I would have let go for a second, I would have fell backwards out of 3 stories. I'd be in the newspaper. I'd be famous. You know what I mean?
And that story is brought to you by Safety Corner.
Yeah, crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
What's the best compliment you ever got?
I think the best compliment I ever got was just this past year. I had Mike Reed again. I was at a show, and he's like, hey, so I heard that you're doing this and doing that and thing. He's like, wow, that's amazing. Like, look at that. You started as a fan, and now look, you're actually doing it. And I was like, thanks, bro. You know what I mean? Like, thanks. And he didn't have to say that. And but the thing is, then he gave me a hug. And he gave me a hug, and he held on longer than me. Do you know what I mean? And I could just feel the love. And I was like, wow, like, that's awesome. You know what I mean? I think I'm on the right track. I think I'm doing the right thing. You know what I mean? I just, it's that, especially when growing up and not getting,
Portuguese parents weren't like that.
Yeah, they weren't not like that. They weren't like supportive and stuff. So to get that now, it's like so amazing. You know what I mean? So, and to get that from him, someone who I look up to because he was one of the first Portuguese that escaped the Portuguese slavery. He was a drywaller, and he told him, hey, if I win this contest, I quit, huh? So,
and he left.
And yeah, he left. And he told him, hey, I won. And he shows him the thing. He goes, hey, I'm going to go get coffee. I'll be right back. And he never came back. Fuck. So, yeah, so that, it's that, I appreciate
a little thing.
That he didn't have to tell me nothing.
No.
You know what I mean?
What's your favorite beverage?
A nice cold Corona with a lime in it. Consola.
What never fails to make you laugh?
What never fails to me is a smart joke. If it's a smart joke, if it's a joke that starts off here, ends up there, and you're like, oh my God, that blew my mind. A joke that catches me off guard. That's what makes me laugh. A smart joke. You know what? A guy falling down the stairs or whatever, it's not funny to me anymore. But a guy who talks about something and makes it like that smart joke, that's what makes me laugh.
Worst piece of advice you ever got?
You got to go to work, you got to just go to school right away. No time to take off, or you got to go to university. I wanted to go to OAC. It was the last year OAC was in,
that they were doing,
right?
It, yeah.
And I remember my teacher coming to me and say, hey, in the hallway, he's like, hey, you're coming back next year, right? I said, yeah. I said, okay, I'm going to work with you next year. They were already going to position me in a way. Like I probably could have been a great phys ed teacher. You know what I mean? Have a nice pension, all that stuff, not break my back. And then I could have done my acting via that way. You know what I mean? Or whatever. But my dad's like, listen, you're not going to go to school another year. You already failed grade 2. You're not gonna, you know what I mean? You're not gonna do that. So you're gonna either go to university or you're gonna go to work. So I wasn't ready. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I wasn't ready. So don't rush into something if you're not ready. Like, don't sit around and do nothing. But I wanted to go one more year for OAC to kind of get my head straight. I think I was still very immature. I was very sheltered. I needed another year. I didn't listen to myself because I was scared or whatever. And that was one of the things that really turned everything ugly. Like within a year or two, I moved out anyways. You know what I mean?
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt one day?
Politics.
You want to get into politics?
You know what? I'm going to get famous and then run off my fame like a popularity contest with a couple good things, like let's get rid of income taxes, let's get a health care that works, you know what I mean? And this 60 years old you have to be, and if you die before 60, you don't get your CCP?
Yeah, that shit.
Are you kidding?
Hey, I love that one.
Are you when Steve said that on his show, I was like, are you kidding? His dad was 4 months away from his birthday. This man worked 40 years, and all that money for CCP
goes into someone else's pocket.
into a slush fund, a chapada fund. That's what you want. What are you talking about? You know what I mean? So there's certain things that I would definitely change, and the only way to do it is to beat them at their own game. So yes, I want to get famous. Yes, I want to do all this stuff. But then my next step after that would be politics, and honestly, I would kill it on stage. You see all the people laughing at Trump with all his smart ass jokes? That shit works.
They're classic, man.
Classic, bro.
You know,
and I think that's what I want. That's what really I would want to do. It's I don't know anything about politics, but I do know what I want.
I don't
in my
think you
life.
need to know anything about politics.
These guys, I couldn't
They
do any
don't
worse.
know anything about
I couldn't do any worse.
Yeah.
And for all my ventures and whenever I've done a side job or whatever, I have people there in my group, and I'm like, hey guys, how are we going to do this? Even though I know the answer. Say, hey, how are we going to do this? And I hear, ba, 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 ba. I like that. Okay, here's how we're going to do it. And I think that's the problem with today's politics and everything else. No one wants to listen to nobody. Toute casse grande et bure grande ninguém casse. Right? Translation, everybody wants to be big, but a big donkey, nobody wants to be.
You should actually take everybody that you're working with on all the comedy tours and like that and make them the cabinet.
Yeah. Right? Just straight people.
They would do a much better job than
much
the
better
monkeys
job, and at least they could see through the bullshit.
This is what I mean.
Right?
Favorite curse word?
Va fudit or sakana. Sakana is a great one.
I haven't heard that one in a while.
How about ish to poo? How about that one? That's a good one.
Favorite vehicle? Any mode of transportation?
You know what? If I had to choose, I would want a nice big SUV. Nice and big, comfortable.
Full size, like a
Yukon, a Denali, something nice. You know what I mean? If I'd have to pay for gas or none of that stuff, that's what I want, like a Hummer.
But you're a politician. You're not paying for gas.
You know what I want? You know those trucks that look like semi trucks? I think the International makes them, and they have a pickup back, like an 8-foot box, but they look like a mini tractor trailer. Yeah, International they're awesome.
I've never seen it.
What's his name had one?
Talking about The Rock?
No, Demi Moore's ex-husband, the young kid, Ashton Kutcher.
Ashton Kutcher?
He had one of those things, and
Bruce Willis's stepdad?
Yeah, Bruce Willis's stepdad. He had one of those, and I was like, yeah, that's cool. It looks like a semi truck.
Does it really?
Yeah, it looks like a semi truck, but a little bit lower to the ground. It's got so that you're not climbing.
And
up
International
high.
makes it?
Yeah, it's fucking.
I gotta look that one up.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. It looks really cool.
Last question: if heaven exists, what would you like to hear God say when you arrive at those pearly gates?
It's about time you got here. Who are you?
You're not on the list.
Hey, what's your name? No, I think I would want him to say, good for you. Good for you, staying strong, not buying into the bullshit. You know what I mean? Just like that. I think it's just, staying strong, like good job. That's all. I think that's all we would all kind of want. It's just
that's all you want.
A little recognition. I don't need $1 million. I just need a little recognition for my hard work, man. And if you don't want to give me recognition, that's okay, because my karma's good. You know what I mean?
Thanks, Brian, man. Absolute pleasure meeting you. Thank you so much for making the time to be on the show and having a few laughs here, man. This has been fun.
Yeah, this is fun. It was so fun for me too. So I'm really glad, and I hope we can do this again.
Oh, totally, man.
Right?
Come back anytime you want, man.
That was exciting. Everybody's like, what's this guy gonna say? You know what I mean? So yeah, no, I totally.
There's no rules here. We just shoot the shit. We just talk, and if you got offended, I don't give a shit if you got offended.
And I think we need more of this. I think, and that's why I like to support guys like you who are doing this, and I thank you for doing this, because we need places where we can talk without, we can't say that because our sponsor is not, you know what I mean? Oh yeah, speaking of sponsors, one last thing before we end the show. You have your sponsors that you do but then also Rumble has their commercials that they put in the middle. You know how many times I've seen the commercial about ears and teeth?
On mine?
On yours, yeah. It says,
They're not supposed to have commercials on mine.
They have commercials.
I didn't allow that.
Yeah, on your, lots of commercials. Like,
what the fuck?
Yeah, see, I'm the guy who brings the truth. Yeah, I was watching it on Rumble.
Are you kidding me?
And they have one about teeth, on how you could regrow your gums with a special mineral. I tried to watch that video 4 times. It takes forever. They never tell you the answer. I hate that. I hate when they do that shit. They just keep you glued. And I'm like, hey, man, 15 minutes.
It's not set up for little sneaky fuckers.
Yeah, so they have that. And they have another one that if you hear beep in your ears, you're going deaf. Yeah. So
it's got to be connected to the audience of contractors. That's why
it's something.
Holy shit! Thanks for bringing that up, because I got to disable that shit. Yeah, I don't want that shit.
No,
there.
and I see your videos, which is cool. You have your sponsor. I get it.
Yeah,
no problem. But then when you have theirs, and then it's stupid. It's not even good.
It doesn't make any. That's why I didn't want it on there.
No, because it's garbage.
I want to control that narrative, man.
Yeah,
it's my show.
And you know what? And that's the thing. Like, that's what I mean. That's why I really like it, because you like, wait a second, that's not right. Shut it down.
Yeah, it's getting shut down today. That's it.
Let's go. Yeah,
and Rumble's Canadian too. That's a funny thing.
And Rumble lets you get doesn't censor you as much as YouTube.
I haven't been flagged at YouTube at all.
No,
not yet. We'll see what happens. But
you might get flagged after today's show.
Nah, I don't think so, man. Brian, thanks so much, man. Appreciate it so much. Come back anytime, man.
Thank you,
and all the best to everything that you're working on. You're doing a fucking great thing. So
thank you so much.
You're doing a bunch of great things, man.
Yeah, I'm just it's my time to shine right now. I'm just trying to do what I can. So everybody, please keep supporting. I'm gonna do good with my fame or my fortune or whatever. I'm gonna do good with it. So I'm not gonna just take it all and run. I really want to do good with it, and I can't do good if people aren't supporting. You know what I mean?
I'll attend the rehab comedy tour. That's it. We're out of here. Thanks so much, man.
Awesome. Thank you so much.